killed Nicole.
I have no life.
I killed Nicole.
I don't give a shit anymore.
All right, let's have the jurors, please.
I'm at the O.J. trial. Oh! I've been sequestered for so long. I'm at the O.J. trial, and it keeps going on and on. But now I'll tell you the truth. I think there's plenty of proof that shows he murdered his ex-wife. I've listened every day to testimony and other things. I used to watch him playing football games, but now that doesn't mean a thing. Now I'd love to go home. I've been sequestered so long, I feel like I'm the one in jail. He put gloves on, they didn't fit him quite right. He put them on, they look like they were too tight, yeah. I'm at the O.J. trial. I've been sequestered for so long. I'm at the O.J. trial. It just keeps going on and on. But now I'll tell you the truth. I think there's plenty of proof that shows he murdered his ex-wife.
Just lick him.
I think he murdered his ex-wife. He murdered his ex-wife.
Okay, everybody's jumping up and down like Rumpelstiltskin. This is D-Day. Nobody expected it this soon, so they got to capitalize on it. They got to milk it for all they can. And, of course, in the days after, how many days? We ought to take up a office pool on it. How many days after today, after they render the verdict at 1 o'clock this afternoon, can the media continue to milk this thing, continue to bleed it, squeeze it? How long before we get the miniseries, the screenplay, the movie, the made-for-TV movie? How many days before the jurors' books get into print? I mean, it's just, the circus just never stops. And here it says in the paper this morning, networks stand to reap big profits with TV coverage. No crap, huh? What a surprise. Just milking and milking. Oh, there's Fred Goldman. He says they're going to find him guilty. Can you imagine the scene in that courtroom when they read that verdict at 1 o'clock this afternoon, which you will hear right here, of course? Can you imagine if they come through with a not guilty verdict, what Fred Goldman is going to do? There is going to be a scene in that courtroom, the likes of which you have never seen. The little judge is going to be sitting there banging his gavel, having a nervous breakdown, trying to get the order in the courtroom, which quite frankly he hasn't since the beginning anyway, and it's going to be a mess. First of all, there's a myth about this whole business, okay? There's a real myth about the whole O.J. trial and the whole thing. And that is that somehow O.J. Simpson he's representative of black men in America who've been oppressed. O.J. Simpson is a multimillionaire. He's kind of like the Michael Jackson of football. Michael Jackson is some shade of black, last time we checked, maybe very light, but still some shade of it. And somehow, with all of his millions and billions of dollars, he's been able to escape the long arm of the law. They maybe took a little peek here, a little peek over there, but in the meantime, his ass is still running around and doing all these deals, buying out Sony and doing his fake thing with Lisa Marie. He's still running around on a loose because Michael Jackson is not what criminal justice with black men is all about in America, and neither is O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson is a rich guy who lived in Brentwood, who was loved by everybody. The cops used to come to his house all the time, use the goddamn pool table. But anyway, and I'm watching a ball game yesterday, and I'm flipping back and forth because I did see that they were back in court again for the reading of the Allen Park direct examination, which the jury didn't want to hear the cross-examination, only the direct. And another desperate half inning goes by, and Randy Johnson's striking out every angel that comes up to bat. And I flip back over again, luckily, just in time to see the little judges sitting there again. And I'm thinking to myself, what is he doing on there now? I know they're all through listening to that testimony, having it read back. And I turn up the audio nice and loud, and I hear him make the pronouncement that they've got a verdict. And he says, right tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, right in the middle of the Neil Rogers Show, we'll be announcing the verdict on the air. That's what the little Jap judge said. I said, all right, Judge, nice going. He takes instructions well. I always like a little judge who takes direction, okay? So 1 o'clock, we're going to have it. So immediately after that, I mean, you look at O.J. and you looked at Carl Douglas especially. Carl Douglas looked like he didn't know whether to scream or eat Chiquita Banana. He was just, what do I do now? Because he's sitting there all alone. Because they're not expecting any verdict in 3 or 4 hours. So naturally, Johnny Cochran's out doing book signings, and Shapiro's out at getting ready for Yom Kippur. Boy, can you imagine if this would have happened today, this afternoon? They would have said, oh, no, we're not going to have the verdict read on Yom Kippur. You'll have to wait till Thursday. Then the media could really have milked this baby, man. If the judge was only Jewish, if he just would have had some common sense, said, hey, just dummy up for a day and we can really milk this. So in the meantime, and then, of course, on the other side, Chris Darden sat there just looking like a walking cue ball. I mean, like, I don't know what to do myself now. And all the experts come on and they said, well, because ordinarily 99% of the time, that is, especially in a lengthy case, when the jury comes back real fast, 99% of the time it means an acquittal. But in this particular case, because the only testimony that seemed to be in debate, the only thing, and this is what Marcia said, was the linchpin of the whole prosecution case, was the limo driver, Alan Park, his testimony. And they come back and they listen to that and they say, okay, we got it. And then they want the verdict sheets and they come back in no time at all, say, okay, we got it, wrap it up. We're going home. We got a meeting with our publisher at 2:30 tomorrow. And so we're going to have it. So that was the immediate response was, okay, they got a guilty verdict. You may not have expected this, especially with 9 blacks on the jury since it's been made into such a racial deal. But surprise, he's going to be found guilty. But in the hours that have ensued since then, as more rational and more calm minds have started thinking about the whole deal, it's very dubious. If they come in with a guilty verdict this afternoon, it will be one of the greatest miracles in the history, not just of jurisprudence, in the history of the human race. So I find it very difficult to believe. I would like to believe it because from very early on as the evidence mounted, I don't care how many calls he made on his cell phone in the Bronco, because he's sure not going to call up his friends and say, I killed a bitch, okay? You got to help me out. He's not going to say that. So what difference did it make what he said? But I just cannot believe that they're going to come in with a guilty verdict. But I'm sure we'll find out from you. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's running around. Everybody's getting their work done this morning because they want to get off so they can go home by 1 o'clock this afternoon. And the saddest part of the whole deal, yesterday, right off the bat, as soon as they announced that they had a verdict, they were going to bring it in today, they have all the shrinks on, all the psychiatrists are on now. What are we going to do about the withdrawal syndrome now for all these people who have been involved in this for the last 8 months? It's been their whole life. What a sad commentary on America today that this has become this has become an excuse for a life for millions of people. And I'm going to ask you the question one more time. How is this verdict going to change your life or mine? And if you can answer me that question, you got the $64 challenge, baby, and this one ain't even fixed. How do you like that?
Understand that I would jump in front of a bullet for Nicole?
I don't give a shit anymore.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just so there is no misunderstanding, have everybody be seated, please. We're wasting time. If you're going to keep doing that, I'm going to stop you right here. You're not making this easy, are you, Mr. Goldberg? Counsel, this whole line needs to be done in a different way. And now here it is again.
Because, Your Honor,
in the same day. I'm going to stop you right here. Have everybody be seated. Your Honor, I think that Mr. Scheck, I'm going to tell you for the 4th time, no. Sit down.
This is much ado about nothing.
Sit down.
No, I'm serious. You know something, Your Honor? This is very unfair.
Sit down.
That's very unfair.
Sit down.
Are you afraid of Miss Clark?
Sit down. We're in recess.
Okay, 1017 at WOD. Howard Finkelstein, by the way, is Norm Kent with a ponytail, okay? You notice how nobody has seen Norm the last couple of days? Here's a lady in Stewart. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay,
First
what do you
time
think?
Calling.
What do you think?
I tell you, I'm really enjoying, I've never really put your show on. Somebody very close to me told me to watch to listen to.
Isn't that great? Okay, there's a... All right, a lady in Stewart with a potty mouth. All right. It's a radio show, sweetheart. I hate to break the news to you. You can't say the F word. You might think about it. You might want to say it like I would like to say it right now about 20 times to you, honey, but get out of my life. Because you know what Chris Darden said?
I don't give a shit anymore.
Exactly. So there's a good start, okay? I mean, we got all the media here just sitting on pins and needles waiting to hear what you people have to say. And there's the first loudmouth bitch from Stewart. She's got a potty mouth, okay? 20 years, honey. Open line in Broward, 5249463, and the 2 green lines is in Boca and Palm Beach. This isn't going to change their life. This isn't going to change their behavior. They're playing hard to get. 1-800-944-9463, 1-800-944-WI. Don't give a... Here's a lady in Perrine. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's
see if you can top the last one.
Pardon me?
I say, let's see if you can top the last one.
That's not my intention. I just wanted to tell you that I worked as a courtroom clerk for 15 years in the federal system.
Yeah.
And it has been my experience that when the jury comes back this quickly, it's conviction. It's guilty.
Really?
Yes. And I feel the same way this time.
So, in other words, you really believe this jury is going to come back with a conviction?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right.
I hope you're right.
Thanks. Bye.
Open line at date, 751 WIOD. Let's do North Miami on a Broward line. Hello.
Oh, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, I didn't want to talk about it, but I think he's guilty, too, but of second-degree murder. I think that's what they're going to find.
What do you mean second degree?
Well, they have a choice between first and second degree. Second degree is that rage of passion killing, and I think that's what I just think. I think they're going to find
Well,
guilty.
how come he had the knife then with him?
Well, I really don't know.
And the ski cap and all the other...
Well, just because he had it with him doesn't mean it's premeditated. He could have just brought it with him, but anyway, I think he's guilty.
Yeah, he'd just have it around, like when kids go to school, when they're armed and they got their knife, their switchblade, and their gun. I mean, they're not necessarily going to use it. They have it just in case if they get pissed off that day.
Well, you never know,
Okay.
right? Anyway, I think they found him guilty. Let me ask you this. This Brent Gretzky that the Leafs have, is that Wayne Gretzky's brother?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
And number two, did the Devils trade Claude Lemieux?
No, they did not. They had a big squabble with him about money, and he says that he's not going to play there, but we'll see. That always happens. Just like Brodeur, and they finally signed him. We'll see.
Okay. Thanks, Neil.
Okay. We've got enough frogs running around. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I'm 100% behind you, man. I believe exactly what you're saying. And
you're 100% behind me. What? What did I say that
No, I mean, it's about time this debacle is over.
Yeah.
Get back to real life.
Right, exactly.
I don't care if he's guilty or not. I'm going to go back and watch my soaps.
Now you're talking.
Go back to watch Gays of Our Lives, man.
Right. Oh, my God, and now that you mention that, what's going to happen to the Young and the Hung today, which is probably going to get preempted with the pregame show?
Look at this. I bet the soap opera industry is glad they can finally get the ratings back up.
Yeah, there you go.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
How about the Mariners?
How about them?
I love them. They're my favorite team.
Well, they're not my favorite team, but good luck to them. Okay, pal?
Can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Why, they're the AL West champions, why are they the visiting team over to New York, who's the wild card?
Oh, the way the whole thing is set up is crazy. It may be because the Yankees wound up with a better record one game. I have no idea. I don't know.
Well,
the whole way the thing is with this 2 and 3 business, it's set up really bad. Just like the way the televising is set up this year.
If the Yankees if it was the way it used to be, the Yankees wouldn't even be in it. It would just be Seattle and
Okay,
Cleveland.
pal. Have a nice life. Open line and date, 751. Like he says, and now I'm starting to disagree. I think O.J. is more important than anything in the world. You know what? Based on him. 2 open lines on the green lines, Boca, West Palm, etc. 1-800-944-9463. 1022 at WIOD. 1 o'clock, baby. We're going to be into it. We're going to be on top of it. We're going to be underneath it. We're all going to be hanging out here all day long. After the verdict is in, we're going to analyze it. We're going to... What is there to say, And I want you to keep in mind, by the way, it's not like it used to be where they used to have like a whole bunch of paperwork and a big song and a dance. Now the deal is if he gets off, if they come in with an acquittal at 5 minutes after 1 o'clock, he can reach down there on that tabletop, pick up his pencil, his legal pad, all of his goodies, and walk out that door and get in the car and adios right on the freeway. In fact, the rumor has it that Al Cowlings is going to pick him up. And they're going to do it. They're going to reenact the thing on the freeway, and we'll find out what the first one was really all about.
610 WIOD. Bulletproof. And a damn good thing.
Does the juice get loose, or does he meet Bruce, his new roommate for life, who's hung like a moose?
Okay, we'll find out. 1 o'clock, 1027 at WID. See that Channel 7 spot that they ran yesterday that got everybody crazy, that with Patrick Fraser, that was totally irresponsible and a little premature evaluation? See, they just figure we'll keep running it every day, and sooner or later it'll be right. It's like if I said, hey, today's December 23rd, and I just keep saying that every day. Sooner or later it will be. Here's West Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, I got 2 things. First, on the Atkins diet, I lost 30 pounds and 5 inches off my puppet.
Oh, great. All right.
It is a very great diet.
It is.
The second thing, why doesn't anybody talk about the blood that was missing when they drew O.J.'s blood?
What do you mean, why don't they talk about it?
Well,
first of all, they don't know how much they drew in the first place.
Well, the guy first said 7.9 to 8.1.
Yeah, but then he also said that the syringe, that they looked at the back of it, he didn't really see exactly how much it was, and he wasn't paying any attention, and quite frankly, what difference does it make anyway?
That's true. And another thing, I guess the final thing is it's not going to affect my life either way.
Okay.
All right, Neil.
Okay, Pally.
Bye.
See, there's a guy who's honest. I mean, he's just an ordinary like schmo like the rest of us, and he realizes this isn't going to change your life. But the thing of it is, all these housewives, these millions of women out there, they thought they had a life when they were watching Oprah and Sally and all these other shows. They thought that was a life. But then, forget about that. Now they got OJ, baby. This was a substitute life for millions and millions of people, mostly women. Mostly housewives who sat on their fat ass, getting fatter and sassier in the house day after day, watching this crap, okay? This became their life. They knew, and I still say that piece on Headline News over the weekend where they went out and they interviewed these people at a shopping mall, and they showed them pictures of Janet Reno and the vice president, all these other people. I don't know. But here's Johnny Cochran. That's Johnny. There's Johnny. There's the judge. There's the little judge. They knew everybody with the OJ trial, but the goddamn president, I don't know. Here's Abe Lincoln. I don't know who that is. Guy with a beard. Oh, look at Carl Douglas. They're showing that thing yesterday where the judge says the jury's got a verdict, and Carl Douglas didn't know whether to eat the whole goddamn banana plantation. Look at that. He says, "Oh my God, how the hell can they have left me here for this?" So let me ask you, how many BMs do you think OJ did overnight, huh? Here's Hollywood on the purple line. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
OJ's guilty. OJ's a douchebag, and to all those liberal bleeding hearts who can't believe that the jury can convict him after only 3 hours, they should wake up and smell their coffee, go to court, because they convict people on lesser charges. And
on lesser charges, yeah, like speeding.
Exactly. And you know what? We should call up Betty Ferguson and proclaim today O.J. Simpson Day.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
All right. Let's start building the arena right now. Okay, screw Betty. You first. Open line on the purple line, pound IOD if you have AT&T wireless or whatever the hell they're calling it these days. Here's Deerfield Beach. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
He's as guilty as sin. If they come back with a not guilty verdict, it'll be the biggest miscarriage of justice that's ever gone down. If this was Hollywood and it's close to it, what would happen will be like a young and a horny sort of thing. He comes in not guilty. Fred Goldman pulls a gun out, shoots him dead on the scene. They get the not guilty like they wanted. Fred Goldman gets justice. The day's named after him. He goes to trial starting Thursday because they can't start the trial on Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
And a year from right now, Fred Goldman will be not guilty too. What do you think of that?
And Marcia Clark will be the prosecutor.
Bitch. Yeah. Have a good day.
Okay, pal, thanks. Good scenario, okay? We got to keep the soap opera going. Right. Hey, it's possible. I mean, there are a lot of people who have been saying that if he gets off, Fred Goldman's going to off him like very, very soon. Like right on his way out the courthouse. He might chase that Bronco right down the freeway. That could be the next freeway chase. It's Fred Goldman chasing after the Bronco with about 4 Uzis in the car. And, everybody will be out there rooting. Come on, go, OJ! Go, Fred! And, of course, don't do it on Yom Kippur, though, Fred. That would be bad. So let's get the thing over with early before sundown. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
Well, I have no idea, because I figure they could have gone in predisposed to either way. But I have a funny story. My mother's in China. She's over there for a year.
Yeah.
And I talked to her this morning. And I haven't heard anything on the news about the huge monsoon that just went through Hong Kong, but everybody...
Hey, you're nitpicking now. Don't you understand, sweetheart? Those are things that are trivial compared to OJ.
But they all know
I mean, we got
about
the
OJ.
Nazis are taking away our rights. They're taking away Medicare and Medicaid and welfare. They're taking away everything. They're turning this into a fascist state, but nobody is concerned about that. They're concerned about OJ.
But they
the
know
important
about OJ
stuff.
over there is my point. She's like, well, I'll be listening to the news. I'll be watching the news at 1 o'clock in the morning to see what happens, and God forbid that he, gets off.
Yeah, thanks to CNN International now, we've polluted the brains of people all around the globe now. The cycle is complete.
Exactly. All right, that's it.
Good luck.
Take it easy.
See ya. Open line on the purple line, pound IOD, 2 hours and 38 minutes away, but who's counting, okay? 2 hours and 38 minutes we're going to be, and let's make sure that there it is, see? They're playing a little ping pong back in the judges' chambers, warming it up, getting it ready, baby, so you don't have to panic. We'll be on top of it like a blanket. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Was that Scott Chapin on the spot?
Yeah.
Does he work in the building?
Scott Chapin is in Detroit.
Detroit.
Scott Chapin does production for TV stations all over the country with that same phony, gravelly voice. Channel 7 News. You know, that's Scott Chapin.
He's a douchebag.
Right, okay, best call of the day. Open line at Dade, 751-WID. Highly overrated in spite of what George says. I can't stand that phony gravelly.
When did I ever defend him?
Oh, you think Scott Chapin is great?
When did I ever say that?
Or is it Adam that thinks he's great? He blows, okay? He's pathetic. And by the way, he also is on Channel 7 up in Boston, which is owned by the same douchebag Ed Anson from next door. And like I told you before, they're also like on the verge of that hysterical news, but like a couple of steps back, because the people in Boston got an IQ bigger than their penis size, which is more than I can say for the people down here, okay? So the people up there would never put up with hysterical news all day. Just like short of it. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are we going to get rid of these pesky Buffalo Bills?
Okay, where are we going next? To, save your football for a rainy day, okay? Will you please? The pesky Buffalo Bills, who win, they give him 85 chances, and he finally kicks the field goal against Vinny Testy Birdie, okay? Forget about those people. Let's get to the important stuff. It's O.J., baby. There is no football without the juice. Suit him up. He's playing for the goddamn Dolphins next week, him and Benny Blades. That's right. Here's Homestead. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's going on with all these football players. I mean, it seems like the Miami Dolphins have the biggest squad of convicts right now.
The Thug Squad.
Yeah.
In case you missed it before, O.J. Simpson out with a knee sprain for the rest of this game.
See, couldn't even play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Bad knees.
They could start their own
I think Johnny's Cochran was right.
If they put football in the Olympics, they could start their own little dream team.
I hear nothing, I see nothing, I know nothing.
Oh, this guy might be going to Boise. Hang on, pal. We'd like to send him there. Line 2, take him real quick, okay, and register him for the tragic trip. We're doing that in the middle of this. Get serious. Here's Hope Sound. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You think there's a possibility that the judge delayed the verdict announcement because he's worried about L.A. and the possibility of riots?
Of course.
To give the police time to
Of course. The excuse he gave was because only the flunky attorneys were there, but part of it was 3 p.m. L.A. time. It was getting like toward the end of the afternoon, and I don't think at any point he's wanted to do it either on a weekend or late in the day when it was getting close to sundown when they could have some riots.
You think there's the possibility of that happening?
Of what happening?
The riots.
Of course. There's always that possibility, especially in L.A.
Yeah.
Okay. They live to riot.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, and see, in the Rodney King case where they had an all-white jury, or in the Arthur McDuffie case down here, there was a reason for people to be very, very upset and to scream and yell, not to riot and burn down their own neighborhood, which never solves anything, or to go kill innocent bystanders like they did here. But nevertheless, there was a reason for people to really be pissed off. But anybody says now that this man didn't get justice, regardless of the verdict. I mean, this guy spent $4 or $5 million or more, had the greatest criminal defense attorneys that money can buy. And like I said, he's not your, discriminated against brother. He's got nothing to do with discrimination against blacks in America. I don't care how much of a racist Mark Furman is or any other goddamn cop. O.J. Simpson ain't the target. And if people are too blinded by their own racial psychosis to see that, then I feel sorry for us, for all of us.
The opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers on WIOD are not necessarily those of the station or its sponsors. All WIOD programs are copyright 1995 by WIOD Incorporated. No tape recordings or transcripts may be created or distributed without prior written consent of WIOD Incorporated. I killed Nicole.
He likes to set on colored people. He likes to frame the colored people. Furman, driving through Brentwood at night with a glove in his bag. His evidence bag waits at the Bronco, opens the window to leave a few drops on the floor. A smudge on the door, Officer Mark Furman. Where did that blood come from? Officer Mark Furman. He dropped the bloody glove. Simpson and Cato, back from a burger and fries at a restaurant near. A noise in the rear, O.J. is napping, dropping his socks near the bed, but there's somebody there, planting some hair. Here's Sir Mark Furman. Where did the blood come from?
It's a beautiful thing. 1040 at WIOD. We have one open line on the green line, 1-800, you know the rest. Here's Doral. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
A couple of things.
Okay.
I was just watching our good friend Susan Lichman now from Fox 11 News from LA. First of all, guilty, fry him, no matter what happens, and I do think that...
so in other words, even if they come in with a not guilty verdict, fry him anyway?
Oh, why not?
Okay.
You know. Second thing, my friend Eddie finally butched up. He got back on the diet.
Yeah.
After you pulled his ear, so to speak, on the radio.
Yeah.
He's back on it. He loves it, and he apologizes profusely. And third of all, highly, highly irresponsible what Channel 7 was doing yesterday with this verdict, and without even knowing it.
Yeah. Just ask the people on the switchboard up front.
Oh, God. I tell you.
I bet you we probably had two people croak of coronaries in town just hearing Patrick Fraser's, there's a verdict in the OJ, you know.
Oh,
of course, he wasn't that far off. Maybe he needs a physic or he's psychic.
My God. And yesterday they were doing a couple of, reports there about AM and talk radio. They didn't show you guys. I figured, they would show you since you're right next to each other.
They were doing reports about AM radio what?
People calling in, voicing their opinions, so they showed 7-something and the other 9-something station.
Yeah. Oh, they hate us like poison, that's all right.
It shows.
Familiarity breeds contempt. When we move away, they'll like us better.
Yeah.
Have a great day, pal.
Take care.
See ya. Open line in Dade, 751 WIOD. Here's Cooper City. Hello.
Hey, good morning. How
yes,
you doing?
Sir. Okay.
I got to tell you something that hasn't come up yet. Let's say they find O.J. not guilty. Do you think Gil Garcetti is going to take L.A. County and the prosecutors and go look for supposedly the real killer?
No.
That'll make him look like really, like crap after he's already prosecuted O.J. for over 2 years or over a year.
Yeah.
So he's not going to do that. So what?
Well, what do you mean look for the real killer? What evidence have they got leading him to anybody else?
Well.
Who else would have had a motive? Nothing was stolen.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, let's say they find him not guilty.
Right.
Supposedly, they can't retry him, obviously.
Exactly.
Are they going to try to go find anybody else? They can't.
No, because they believe that he's guilty. And just because they can't get a conviction doesn't mean that they're going to waste a lot of time starting to look for somebody else.
That's it.
They're going to give Fred Goldman an Uzi and say, okay, let's take care of the problem. He'll solve the whole deal, okay?
That's what I was thinking.
Not that we believe in vigilante justice, but there's always exceptions to every rule in life. Here you go, Fred, baby.
Florida's not far enough for O.J. to run. Let's put it that way.
I mean, Fred's already in trouble. They've already given him 20 years for overacting, so a couple of bullets, right in the head. What's wrong with that?
Shameless request.
Yes, sir.
O.J.'s going to get you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. See, there's a whole bunch of different things here. But number one, whether you believe he's guilty or innocent. Number two is whether you think the prosecution really did a good case, a good job of presenting the case and convincing the jury that he's guilty. And I got to be very honest with you. I have a lot of problems with the way they presented the evidence and with some of the people they didn't call and with the thing about the Bronco chase. I don't care how many people he called and said he was being framed. The fact is, if you believe you got a strong case and he's fleeing under these dubious circumstances, there's something really rotten. Don't meet the eye. In addition to which, the black bag there at his buddy's house, at his lawyer's house, there are all of these different things, man, that just really they didn't do a good job of sticking it to him on. Which makes it very, very, very difficult, almost impossible for me to believe that this jury of 9 blacks and 3 whites, 1 or 2, 2 Hispanics or 1? One Hispanic and 2 Anglos, pardon that expression, that they, in 3.5 to 4 hours, that they said, oh, yeah, they did a really great job. We believe Marcia, we believe Chris, and there's no doubt in our mind whatsoever. And, yeah, Mark Furman's a bad guy, but that's it. Maybe, but I think they did a really mediocre job in presenting the case. What do I know? Here's Del Rey on the purple line. Hello.
You used to be such a nice boy.
Let's go to Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes.
Did you see the woman this morning that Harry Smith was interviewing on CBS Morning News?
No.
The court observer. She was saying that when the jury came in yesterday with their verdict...
Oh, yeah, I did see her,
their eyes were downcast. Right. They didn't look at O.J.
She said there was only one woman on the jury that looked over there, and she gave him kind of a forlorn look. Of course, that's an interpretation on her part, but she wasn't looking over there nodding and giving high fives and stuff like that.
Right. To me, that doesn't look too good for O.J., but...
Yeah, but I mean, really, people are... See, because we don't know. See, this is the thing. We're very upset because we don't know. We got to wait till 1 o'clock no matter what. And so people are trying to read things into whatever happened or didn't happen. And, of course, we all have a tendency to read those things into based on what we're hoping for.
Well, that's correct. That's correct. The reason why I called, though, the most important thing going on right now
is
the Red Sox-Indians game going to be televised?
Oh, I don't know. They got a thing here. If you need a goddamn
You do. You need your rocket scientist.
They got a thing here in a paper today about this game is going to be on here and that game's going to be on there. Of course, when you got 2 satellite dishes, you have pretty good confidence you'll be able to pick them all up. Yeah, it's on our good, close, personal friend Rachel Alexander writes it here in the paper about... now, which game is it you're looking for?
The Red Sox and Indians.
No.
It's not going to be on regular TV. Satellite should be able to pick it up, though.
Right.
Okay, Nesson or whatever the station is.
The Indians, the team with the best record in baseball. Who wants to see that?
Oh, of course.
Right.
100-game winner.
Well, this is, and the one good news is that for next season, if anybody still cares by that time, they're not going to do it this way. They'll stagger the times like they used to instead of having conflicting and regional telecast for playoff games, which is an embarrassment and a slap in the puss.
Well, that would only make too much sense.
Right.
Well, Neil, you have a great day.
And back to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks to ABC and NBC for taking over baseball and screwing it up and everything else that they did, okay? And then walking away and saying, hey, we don't want no more of this because nobody cares. Randy Johnson, I got to give him credit, man. I watched that game yesterday pulling for my Angels, and, Randy Johnson's invincible. He's unbeatable. He's unhittable. He's untouchable. He's unbeatable, and it was still a hell of a game in spite of that. Langston did himself proud until everything came unglued in that 7th inning. Bad fielding, bad bounces, whatever you want to call it. But, hey, wait till next year, right? Okay. So anyway, we have 2 open lines. They're both on the green lines there in Boca and West Palm and Del Rey and Jupiter and Uranus, which O.J. is going to be moving up there if he gets off. So look out now. 1-800-944-9463. Did you see Bailey on the news yesterday? Oh, yeah, he's so confident. He's looking for that house in Palm Beach. He's out there looking for a house. I wonder if Cato's going to be moving in with him, huh? You know, that shiny blonde hair, it's an easy target, Fred.
Almost like clockwork, the hurricane season quiets down, and people start doing crazy things on land.
Cops say they've collared the Kentucky Fried Killers. Good morning at 8:02. I'm Jackie Bales. News Talk and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
Sharks in the Key, Sharks in Congress, and a wake-up call to Fidel. What happens next? We'll tell you. The best news. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
On the bloody glove,
just lick 'em.
I went to O.J.'s estate and something wasn't right. I took a walk on down the street and I took out my flashlight. And I suspected something funny when I saw a spot of blood. Then I jumped over the wall and I knocked on Cato's door. He told me about some thumps he heard, so I looked around some more. And I suspected something funny when I found a bloody glove. A bloody glove. But I didn't tell Cato. A bloody glove. Whoa, 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 whoa. Next thing we knew, O.J. went on a low-speed Bronco ride. Now he's in an L.A. jail charged for double homicide. And I believe it's first degree murder he's guilty of. It's because of a bloody glove.
Now, wait a minute. What are you talking about? This is the important stuff. We're catering lunch on the day of O.J.'s verdict, and you're giving me a song to dance with Jeff High. Tell him
their delivery person isn't in today, and so
well, fine, and tell him to butt out of our life and get out of my face and go sell something and stop worrying about food all the time, okay? Tell that fat slob to get out of my life. Well, Carol will take care of us today because I'm not going to the dentist because they've asked me to stick around with Phil this afternoon, and we're going to sit around and hold hands, and then we can all wring our hands and ring our thing. And by the way, speaking of ringing your thing, wait until you see what I got here.
Brad Pitt, God.
Jennifer Rem comes in and slips this to me this morning. The pictures, that is, from the Internet, which are a little on the fuzzy side, needless to say, but it's Brad Pitt in about a half a dozen different poses here, naked as a jaybird, including one frontal shot there. And let me tell you right now, no big deal, okay? No, if this picture is what got the ladies in the newsroom really psychotic and hysterical, then Andy says, just wait until you see this. Anybody got good eyesight? Here's Kendall. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, great talking to you. I've been here for a year now, and the first time I ever called, listening since then.
Okay.
But, listen, when I get home from work, you can't help to be bombarded by the O.J. thing. It's on the news.
It's everywhere.
Papers, everywhere. You can't get away with it, or from it.
He can get away with it.
What I honestly believe, though, is last night on Channel 7, when they had that mock jury, and the one guy said, I believe that he's a not guilty man. I honestly believe that. I think that the detectives knew that he did it. They felt that he was going to get away with it because of the fact.
Wait a minute. How did the detectives know that he did it?
Well,
how did they know that?
It, but I think that it was when they left and then they came back. Maybe they discussed it. They talked about it. They said, "Hey, here's our chance to get this case solved. Let's go ahead and get the L.A. reputation, the police department's reputation, back online with the American people."
First of all, they had no idea where he was.
But they ended up at his house anyway.
But they had no idea where he was. They didn't know until much, much later that he was in Chicago doing that Hertz commercial. They had no idea where he was. They also had no idea who really did it. They had no idea whose blood was there at the crime scene. I mean, they pointed this out yesterday, that if a police officer in Los Angeles is convicted of planting evidence, especially in a capital crime like this, they go up the river for life. That's a life sentence. Now, do you think that even Mark Furman the German, do you think that even he was so anxious to frame this guy because he was black? O.J. Simpson was hardly like your street corner like a Rodney King, okay? Or a Don King, even.
That's true. You do have a point. But honestly, though, I think he did it, and he's going to get off either way, because what's going to happen is, in spite of the fact that the jury's been sequestered for so long, I'm sure they've gotten information from relatives and from different sources and different things. And I'm sure they know what kind of impact their verdict is going to have.
Yeah, but see, knowing that up front, what impact their verdict is going to have and how many months they spent on this, it's still mind-boggling to me to think that they really believe they've done justice to all of this, and they've really digested and examined and discussed, even if there wasn't disagreement, that they really discussed all of this evidence in 3.5 to 4 hours?
No, I think they've discussed it throughout the whole year. I think I don't care how they say they've been sequestered or done this or done that. Somehow they've gotten information and somehow they've talked about.
Yeah, but you'll never prove that, because that would be grounds for a mistrial.
You'll never prove it. But what I'm saying is he's going to get off. The man is going to walk. He did it, and it's a shame. It really is. And I think it's going to be an excuse for a lot of groups of people in L.A. maybe to go back out and destroy their communities and do all that.
If he gets off?
If he's convicted.
Yeah.
So I think that that plays a part in all that, their decisions and things, and I think they're going to.
Okay, so in other words, like Johnny Cochran said, let's get even and let's make this into a racial thing and forget there's 2 dead people, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for the good news. We have an open line in Dade, 751-WIOD, the 2 green lines. One thing about you people in Palm Beach, man, it makes no difference. This is the most monumental thing since goddamn sliced bread, since the Canadians invented Smarties. And you people are out there like brain dead up in Palm Beach. 1-800-944-9463. America wants to know, man. We're wired in from coast to coast, from pillar to post, all over the world. They're listening to your goddamn opinions out there. And the first woman from Stewart comes up and blurts the F word out there on the air. What does that tell you, okay? And there's that Barry Scheck. And there's Johnny again with that silly stocking cap on, who's been talking to them for like 2.5 hours, puts on a stocking cap and says, "Who am I?" Like Admiral Stockdale. Who am I? A jackass with a stocking cap on, Johnny. He'd not. And then how do you like that Louis Farrakhan? Isn't he one of our favorite people? See, let me just give a little piece of advice to some of you black folks out there. I realize even, no matter who you are in this country, it's hard to find leaders. I mean, Bubba's hardly my kind of idea of a leader for anybody, much less white people or green people. But these guys like Louis Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson, who are just shot disturbers, and running around in Hymietown and, throwing every kind of a slur that they know about, who the hell needs them? Besides Mark Furman. Maybe the 2 of them could get together. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Can we do for you, sir?
Hey, did you watch the Bills game last night?
No.
Oh, I'll tell you something. They're back.
Yeah, okay. Open line in Broward, 524, 1 on the green line, 1-800-944-9463. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
Okay.
I think I almost peed my pants last night.
Yeah.
This whole time that the stupid OJ trial's been on.
Squirt, yeah.
They keep showing, Howard Finkelstein's front of his face, and they make him look like a conservative person.
Oh, then you saw his ponytail when he was...
ponytail. I almost peed my pants last night.
I told you, Howard Finkelstein is Norm Kent with a ponytail. He is.
I thought it was so funny, and it's like Channel 7 keeps trying to make him look like he's a conservative Republican, and then they show...
Conservative Republican?
Then they show him as a hippie last night.
But what difference does it make what his politics are? I don't understand that.
Well, that's true, but you know how Channel 7 is.
Yeah, I sure do.
With, Rick Sanchez.
Yeah.
And we
Okay, have a nice day. We have an open line in Dade, 751, one in Broward, 524. Getting some very thoughtful people here today in the WIOD audience. You see, when you keep catering to the simpleton mind out there, to the silliness of the element in the community, and then you have something serious come up and you think you're going to get some real intelligent input here, forget it, okay? I just wanted to mention that in passing. It's not frustration, it's just an observation on my part, okay? I just mentioned that in passing. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes?
Neil, explain something to me. How does Major League Baseball schedule 4 games?
Let's go to see, don't put her on, okay? I love her, happy Yom Kippur and all that, but let's talk to some people here. We're trying to do a show. There's a big event coming up here, and we're dealing with this like this was chopped liver. Delray Beach, hello. On the purple line, hello. Gone? Okay. Let's go to Miami Beach on the Broward line. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
Okay.
I got 2 questions for you. When do you think Judge Ito is going to do the sentencing? And also, it's actually not a question, but it's an issue. The defense brought up that they have a tape recording of the cellular phones.
Yeah.
It's impossible for them to record that because if the cellular phone works on radio frequency, you know the frequency jumps from tower to tower, so you know that's bull.
You okay?
And just the sentencing. When do you think Judge Ito will do the sentencing?
When?
Yeah.
Immediately?
I mean, are they going to fry him immediately or what?
Sentencing. If convicted, Judge Ito will schedule a sentencing hearing probably within 30 days. At the hearing, testimony from the victims' families is allowed. The defense is allowed to argue for leniency. The judge has discretion to determine whether the sentences run concurrently or consecutively.
Oh.
So within 30 days.
Okay. And one more thing.
Yep.
Hi, Michelle and Kendall. Bye.
Okay. 2 open lines in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You know, one thing we got to remember, that the jury there, what they seen is a lot different from what we seen.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they didn't see all the hype. They didn't see the Bronco chase over and over. They didn't hear Furman's tapes over and over. I think they're going to find him guilty because what they seen is a lot different from what we seen. I think it might be easier than we think for them to find him guilty. And they may look at Cochran and look at him the way we look at him, like a jerk.
Yeah.
And I think I wasn't surprised when they came back so early.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I'm here.
What do you think?
I think there's always one. Thank you. There's always one guy who's not surprised. Everybody else was surprised. He wasn't surprised because to him it's cut and dried, like their throats. President Clinton was briefed this morning on security preparations in case the verdict in the O.J. Simpson murder trial spawns violence. White House Press Secretary Mike McCurry said Clinton was given an update on discussions by federal officials with state and local authorities on security measures in L.A. It makes good sense for us to be in contact with state and local officials. That's what we're doing, McCurry said. He said White House Chief of Staff Leon Panetta gave Clinton an update on the discussions that have occurred between federal officials, largely at the Justice Department, and state and local officials. They also showed him a picture of Janet Reno, and he said, "Is that Rosa Lopez?"
The foremost four-letter word. 610 WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2 newest New York Yankees, Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden, and their personal coach, Steve Howe. How? That's what I'd like to know.
Doc Gooden's in the wind-up. The straw man snorts the lineup. He's drooling like a dog who heard a bell. He's high as a lab rat from smoking the crack at a bat. He doesn't like cocaine, just likes the way it smells. Snorting 8 balls. Darryl's rolling up a 20, snorting 8 balls. And he's giving Gooden plenty. They lick the $20 bill. Their teeth are grinding like a pepper mill. Doing 8 balls. Alcohol and pills. Jeez, these guys. Steve Howe is in the bullpen. His nostrils are wide open. He's so f***ed up he thinks he's on the Braves. He gets advice from Doc, and Doc prescribes some rock. So first he blew a line and then he blew the save. Snorting 8 balls. They abused the magic powder. Snorting 8 balls. Sprinkle it on their clam chowder. Prescriptions got perpetual refill. They do it in the pool if they had gills. Doing 8 balls. Alcohol and pills. All that money.
Oh, man.
8 balls. Alcohol and pills.
I'd like to welcome you all aboard. This is your manager, Buck.
Hi, Buck. Go Mariners, baby. 11:07 at WIOD. Less than 2 hours away and counting, and you can just imagine the scurrying around and the shuffling and the carrying on that's going on out there right now. Not just here, all over the country, man. All over this country, maybe in other parts of the world. Although I'll be honest with you, I haven't noticed that much interest in Europe. But I guess for this, maybe they're the smart ones, okay? They just kind of sit back and ignore it. And they decide, okay, when you're going to give us a verdict, then we'll pay attention and we'll discuss it for 5 minutes and we'll go on with our lives. But not here, man. Here it's like a hobby. It's an occupation. It's a fascination, morbid as it may be. And so at 1 o'clock this afternoon, man, we'll be on top of it. We'll be all over it. We'll be underneath it. We'll be shoving it at you. And then, of course, after it's over, after they give the verdict, we'll be dissecting it. We'll be examining it. We'll be bitching about it, no matter what the hell it is, okay? Because we're going to milk it for everything we can. And if you want to buy a spot between now and 1:30, it'll cost you $10 million, okay? We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. Here's a fax that says if O.J. is found not guilty, then Mickey Arison will have a frog jump out of his ass. Oh, here's Mickey over here. Look what just popped out. Okay, let's take these calls because they're all very serious and very important. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil, you're the best.
Yes, I am.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
First off, I want to say you are 100% correct. This whole country is completely obsessed, and everybody's on pins and needles, and there's nobody who's not going to pay attention, even the ones that say they aren't.
And not one person has been able to give me an intelligent answer to my question, which I've asked for weeks now. How is this going to change anybody's life other than theirs out there?
The only lives, unfortunately, it changed were the 2 victims.
Right.
But it's not going to change any of our lives, but everybody got sucked into it, and now we just have to... hang on, but here, I want to tell you about what I did.
It's even bigger than Windows 95.
That's right. Listen to this. I was at, I'm a handyman working at this Boca Chica Country Club, right, with all these old albacockers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all out at the pool the other day, and I come up, this was just a few days ago, and I yell off the balcony. I said, oh, my God. I said, O.J. committed suicide because I think he thought they were going to make him guilty. They all jumped out of the pool and off their shade lounge, and they all ran up into their condos and were turning on CNN.
All right.
Boy.
And especially the ones that said they weren't following it.
Yeah, of course.
So anyway.
Nobody's paying any attention.
I believe
like my mother. My mother has got that CNN on right now. She's warming up the tubes on that set. She's got it on so loud you can hear it for 100 blocks around, I guarantee you.
I believe second-degree murder, and only because they came back so fast. And they only wanted to hear Alan Park's testimony, which was he was coming in by himself, and he lied as soon as he got there and said, I was asleep, and we all know he was at McDonald's with Cato. So they said...
I thought he was out there chipping golf balls while he was sleeping.
Oh, yeah, he has a lot of
He's got more goddamn alibis than Carter's got pills. And I still would like to know from Johnny Cochran and all these Dream Team people, who was that person running across the lawn, running no less, into a dark house, knowing the security code to get into the house, no alarm goes off, and all of a sudden the lights go on.
That's my point.
I mean, if you were inside, wouldn't you go outside in the dark? Wouldn't you fumble around in a completely dark house, go outside to get your cell phone so you could make a phone call, even though you got all the phones in the house, and then run back in and then turn the lights on?
That's right. As much as everybody paints this to be a racial issue, I think the 12 jurors are as smart as we are, and they just went in there and they said, who thinks he's guilty? And they all raised their hand, and they said, let's pack and let's get the hell out of here.
Okay.
Take care, Neil.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, we have an open line on the green line, 1-800-944. It's getting close now, baby. The tension is building. You could cut it with a goddamn machete. Remember, I bet you almost everybody has forgotten some of the first witnesses were the guys from the gun and knife shop. Remember those guys? 2 of Jeff Clark's buddies, I think. And they had the guy in there with that sold him the knife, and then, of course, found out that he was selling his story to the Inquirer or whatever it was and got $10,000. That was like way, way, way back in the beginning. Who the hell remembers that? Here's Fort Lauderdale, and then, of course, the glove in the envelope, or the knife in the envelope, which, what was it? It was a knife in an envelope. Here's Fort Lauderdale on the purple line. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil, or good morning, rather.
Back to you.
You asked how this is going to affect our lives?
Yes?
We all realize now that the media is a bunch of turds, and we're just constantly getting bombarded. I say guilty, get rid of the guy, and that's it, but you're right. You're going to come back with a murder in the second degree, I think.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
That's what and I did not. The last guy said that.
What did you say, Neil?
I said they're going to come back not guilty.
Oh, my goodness, Neil, no.
I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I can't see this jury coming back in 3 or 4 hours with a conviction.
Well, if the ending statements of Chris Darden said that he had a responsibility to show the guilt or not guilty, and I think that the mostly black jurors are going to come up with a guilty verdict because of the racial issue, because it's in your face all the time, and I think they're going to make a stand on that.
Oh, man.
Okay, pal.
I wanted to ask you one other quick question, Neil. I know you don't like politics, but with the gridlock in Congress and everything that's going on, what do you think of Colin Powell?
I think he's a piece of crap is what I think of him, okay? I think he's totally unqualified. And you started out the call by talking about the media shoving stuff down your throats. You better close your mouth real tight, baby, because never in history, even Ross Perot, has been so enchanted with a guy who's totally unqualified as Colin Powell. The media's like coronating this son of a bitch. Send him back to the goddamn Persian Gulf, pal.
Adios, Neil.
Okay. Colin Powell, my ass. You talk of America, 250 million Americans will suffer from immediate colon disease if this man is elected president, which at last time we checked he ain't running, but he's, protesting too much. Open line on the purple line. If you got AT&T or wireless, pick that baby up and pound it. Where's that spot that Stephanie was going to bring rushing up the stairs to replace the one? So we'll do the next one. Yes, we will.
WIOD. Getting irritated yet?
I'm going to start on this theme, and I'm going to rap on it all year long.
All right, then, Mr. Kalin. You were standing in front of the house.
Yes, the house?
Yes, you were standing in front of the house.
Yes, in the house.
Yes, and then you drove to the McDonald's. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, when you got the McDonald's in the drive-thru line, what did you order?
OJ.
No, I don't ask you who you were with. I'm asking you what you ordered.
Well, OJ?
No. I'm not asking you who you were with in the car, Mr. Kalin. I'm asking you what you ordered at the McDonald's.
It was OJ.
Look, you went to the McDonald's, right?
Right.
You went to you order something, right?
Right.
What did you order?
OJ.
That's Cato and Bailey, coming this fall to television.
Okay, 11:17 at WIOD, and life goes on. We got an hour and 43 minutes to go. An hour and 43 before the little hand hits the big hand, and America goes bananas, and all these women go into withdrawal, and all these shrinks start making the big money. Where the hell is Roger Cossack and Greta Von Braun today, for crying out loud? Huh? They're saving them for the big show. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Let us know how we can better assist you.
Okay, put those assholes back on hold. They're potchking with my life. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I know.
Yes, I am.
Just shifting gears just a tad. Aren't the Buffalo Bills the most luckiest team in football?
Okay, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Your call is important to us.
Okay, put them back on hold. Let's keep going back there every second. Here's Fort Lauderdale again. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
How can Johnny Cock claim to be so incensed that Furman the German hates black people and then have his body guarded by black people who hate white people?
Oh, he says that's just a coincidence, that it's got nothing to do with anything, and he's not sending out any particular message. That's what he says, of course. And he keeps winking while he says it.
And let me tell you, if they do end up with that innocent deal...
And by the way, he does love Israel, and he's been there, and he's been in the kibbutz, and he kissed Golda Meir on the cheek, and et cetera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want that split screen so that I want to see Fred Goldman get up and start kicking some butt.
Okay.
He's going to be pissed.
Okay, Sony XBR, that's what I recommend. Open line, 2 of them in Broward all of a sudden. If you move real quickly, man, you can be a piece of Americana today. 524-9463, 524-WIOD. What are we doing about lunch, by the way? This should be a special OJ lunch day.
I ordered you some sausage.
Oh, you already ordered it? No cheesecake, by the way. I got cheesecake up the,
Okay. I'll eat it.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, I do love it, but how much cheesecake can you eat? Because she brought me 4 from Lorenzo's yesterday, and man, is that good. But once you start eating it, boy, you don't want to stop. You just keep shoveling, especially in the middle of all this pressure. Jesus, man, starting at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time yesterday, starting when the little hand, you know what I'm saying? Which I came across, was it 6? It was just before 6, I think.
Yeah,
I was watching the ball game. Yeah, that's right. And I came across in between innings very luckily, and I said, what's that little judge doing on there again? And all of a sudden he says, you really reached a verdict? Are you sure? You're positive? You think so? Am I reading this correct, Madam Foreman? Is this right? Well, let's at least stretch it out one more day, because number one, none of the big shot attorneys are here. Number two, we don't want no riots tonight. And number three, it'll give the media about 24 hours to really do a big build-up. Here's a lady in Ala Mirada. Hello.
Hi, you are so funny.
I am. I'm so funny it hurts.
My question's about that Alan Parks driving that stretch limo.
Yeah.
You know, and he's going up and down the street, back and forth, in and out, you know, backing in the driveway, pulling in up front and stuff. How could he be doing all that with a Bronco there? I still think O.J.'s innocent, but I'll hang up and wait for your comment.
Well,
Bye-bye.
Well, wait a minute. Oh, so in other words, you don't want to debate it. How could he be doing all that with the Bronco there? Well, he says the Bronco wasn't there. So that's the point. So she makes the case that he's guilty, the Bronco wasn't there. And, of course, if the Bronco wasn't there, he's lying, which we already know he's lying because he's changed the story about his alibi I don't know how many times. I mean, when you really examine everything here, when you examine, the fact that she, the blueprint for the murder practically, that she knew he was going to kill her, and especially with a knife. She was terrified of knives. That was the thing she was scared of. I mean, you put it all together. It's like even Perry Mason, man, says, hey, don't waste my time for this one. It's small potatoes. Even Ironside would have turned this one down. That's why they wound up with Marcia and, what's his name there? Chris. And what about a guy named Chris? You know what I'm saying? Notice he was wearing his red ribbon during the closing arguments. Be very leery about Chris. Here's a mobile in Hillsborough Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
You're the best.
Yep.
I wanted to see if you would go for headlights on for guilty and found guilty.
Headlights on?
Yeah, you got a lot of people out there. We'll all be able to see each other.
Headlights on for guilty. Yeah. And then, of course, if you feel not guilty, shoot out the headlights. No, I'm not getting started with no demonstrations of any kind of emotion, sir. I'm going to remain very calm, very quiet, and very peaceful myself, okay? I don't want to put people in jeopardy out there because Art Fleming's out of town and Alex Trebek's back in Canada where he belongs.
With of darkness and insidious forces working to doom the future of all South Florida radio stations except one, 610 WIOD. More than 100 new people a day move to South Florida, and every one of them has been offered a choice. Listen all day to 610 WIOD or be shipped back to Waterloo. They've seen Waterloo. They're listening. It works like this. Listener, you're out of here. And thank you. From News Talk and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
Goldberg.
Back in the 20s, the Keystone Cops kept America laughing. Today, it's the L.A. cops that have us in stitches.
This murder scene is a mess.
Don't worry. A little salsa water will take that blood right out.
The L.A. cops, they're more fun than a barrel of warrants.
Yeah, I gotta call a station.
Oh, wait. Don't touch that phone.
If you've seen one set of fingerprints, you've seen them all.
The L.A. cops make any crime scene a real comedy of errors.
Hey, those bloody paw prints go right around the coroner.
Oh, my gosh, that reminds me. We forgot to call the coroner.
Watch the L.A. cops. They'll have you laughing all the way to the appeals court.
Okay, 1124 WID. Get that ping pong ball going back. That's the little comfort zone, the security blanket for the IOD audience. They know that if that's there, the AP line is working, and we're working over here. Everybody out there is probably working on it. They're getting worked up to a frenzy, and they're getting gathered around in front of their sets today. Pizza Loft will deliver something to your house so you can sit there and eat yourself silly. Isn't this amazing? And of course, tomorrow we got Yom Kippur. Don't you think there's something that ties into all of this? I think that probably the Jews got something to do with it. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, we got it. Oh, man.
Boy!
There you go. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
You know what's incredible is I was kind of swaying towards the way that he was going to be found not guilty, but now I think after only, yesterday with that Alan Parks testimony, they didn't even hear the cross examination. So that kind of like... they really wanted to know that timeline.
But you know something? There's a problem, though, and that is that we don't know what one thing it was or a couple of things that they were looking for in that testimony. Although I'll be honest with you, his testimony on direct examination was some of the most damning and some of the most specific evidence in the whole prosecution case.
Yeah, it could swing either way. Either way. And
I still say this thing about Cato said this. Cato didn't know squat. He didn't know he still don't know what time it is. You could put him in front of Big Ben and he wouldn't know what time it is.
No, he smoked too many of them.
Exactly.
Anyways, Neil, shameless request.
Okay.
LPGA.
Okay.
Thank you.
See ya. Open line in Dade, 751-WIOD, 751-9463. One on the green line, 1-800-944. Those of us in Palm Beach, we're too snooty. We don't want to make any comments because he's going to be our new neighbor, and we want to welcome him with open arms. He's got a lot of money. That's what you think. $130,000 house Bailey's looking for up there. Pretty modest digs for a guy that used to be worth millions but ain't no more. And by the way, Bailey is doing a pro bono. You do know that because he's got millions and millions from that drug deal down here. No, I don't mean from that. Well, maybe he does from a drug deal, from who he convicted or who he got off or whatever he was involved in. Some damn case he was defending with this big drug dealer, and he got paid off millions and millions. He's loaded with cash. So he's just running around being a big shot, getting his big, fat, pompous ass on the air and finding the Furman tapes. Can you imagine what kind of a defense case they would have had without the Furman tapes? Does the song Zippity Doo-Dah ring any bells? Here's Riviera Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I wonder, would it be appropriate for the judge to question the juries if they had any prior deliberations prior to the official deliberations, and could he order a mistrial based on that before or
No,
after?
the judge ain't going to do that, but if evidence does come out subsequent to this, I don't know how that works. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
He may go for a mistrial right now.
The judge is going to do that?
Well,
no way.
He may be
no
ticked
way.
off because they didn't deliberate
You're
longer.
suggesting that this judge has a pair? Is that what you're going to say?
Maybe so. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I hope you got better eyesight than I do.
This is the year we may divulge the Anthony Carter secret to you, Neil. This could be your year.
The Anthony Carter secret?
Yeah.
Really?
Who sent him to Michigan?
Who sent him to Michigan?
Remember that was your big mystery.
What do you mean, who sent him to Michigan?
Who's the person who influenced Anthony Carter to go to Michigan?
I haven't got any idea.
I thought you were wondering about that.
I was?
Thank you, Neil.
Okay. See, Anthony Carter, who played for Michigan and, of course, for the Vikings for 100 years, Anthony Carter played at Suncoast High up there in Palm Beach. I broadcast those high school football games when I was at WJNO. One of my great claims to fame, I broadcast Anthony Carter's senior year at Suncoast High. All right. Two open lines, both on the Palm Beach lines where they don't give a crap about anything that counts. 1-800-944-9463. All they care about up there is when is the early bird and how much are we getting off a discount, because we're over the age of 100. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, what your name is?
Let's go to Kendall. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Market's down 27 points. They better come in with a guilty or we're in big trouble.
Well, I think if he comes back with a not guilty,
yeah,
then it just shows that American justice depends on how much money you have.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, about 20 years ago, my uncle was up for murder.
Yeah.
And F. Lee Bailey offered to represent him.
Yeah.
And he told him that if he comes up with so much money, he's definitely going to get off because the case wasn't so strong.
Right.
Well, my uncle's still in prison right now, and he's not getting out until 97.
Well, did he hire him?
No, he didn't. He couldn't come up with the money.
Well, there you go. See, if he would have been able to, if he would have gone out and robbed a bank and come up with the money, Bailey would have got him off.
Exactly. All right, that's all I have to contribute.
Okay, pal.
Thanks.
Open line in Dade, 751-9463. 751. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Marsha Clark and F. Lee Bailey are the first two in the courthouse today.
That fucking bitch.
Let's go to Hollywood. Hello.
92 minutes to go to the verdict. Let's get ready to rumble.
90 minutes. 90 minutes and 12 seconds, okay? Are you counting now? Are you getting nervous? Are you peeing in your pants? Is your blood pressure going up? Do you have that cuff on your arm? Huh? Are you taking your blood pressure right now there in the house? Oh, boy. And here's that Mary Pupik, whatever her name is, on CNN Company. What's her name? Mary Tillotson Schwartz, whatever her name is. This wrinkled-up old bag who's been making a career out of this thing for almost the last year now, along with a lot of other people. What are they going to do now? Trying to find a real job? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
How you doing? First time caller, long time listener.
All right.
Listen, I got an idea about what Pressman or Parker Brothers should do.
Yeah.
If OJ's tried guilty. They should make a limited edition signature series hangman game.
Yeah.
And my views on Cochran and Shapiro, I think Shapiro's on the diet and Cochran's a douchebag.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya. Huh? We have an open line at Dade, 751-9463. The green lines don't care. Boca, Palm Beach, West Palm, Jupiter, Delray, they don't care. 1-800-944-9463. They're too intellectual to be dragged into this morass of crap, okay? They're not going to get dragged down. If it doesn't fit, they don't give a crap. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, guilty of sin.
Yeah.
By the way, being of Oriental descent, when he's found guilty, can I hand out watermelons?
Open line at Broward, 524-9463. 2 on the green lines, 1-800-944. See, I don't really care what you think at this point, especially when you're an asshole like that guy. But the bottom line is, what do you think the verdict is? That's what people want to hear. And we got people here talking about the goddamn Red Sox-Indian game. Nobody all season long. We never had one call about baseball the whole season, even when I was touting the Angels and when they went into their swoon, and even when the Marlins started winning a few games. Nobody cared a crap about baseball. Now that we got the O.J. trial coming up in an hour and 28 minutes, but who's counting? Now all of us, oh, gee, I can't see the Red Sox-Indians game tonight. Yeah, well, where the hell were you like 2 months ago, okay? Johnny-come-lately bandwagon jumpers. Let's do a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
First-time caller.
Okay.
It's very weird what's going on up here, but people are starting to talk about time differently. They're talking about BV and AV, before verdict and after verdict, like everything's going to change.
BVD.
That's same. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm also
How
thinking
about there's some people up there changing their BVDs about every 20 minutes?
This is true. Actually, it's not BVDs. It depends. But another thing is, what about putting him into the starring role of Sweeney Todd?
Of what?
Sweeney Todd on Broadway. That's about the barber who slaughtered all of his customers.
Oh, sounds good to me.
Hey, bada boom, bada bing.
Okay.
All right.
Open. Oh, my God. 11:33 at WIOD. And, of course, if he does get off for justice, you know who we're going to go see, don't you? He's up there in the Bronx at Louis.
610 WIOD. Double click and reboot now.
Okay, now what are you just telling me? What is that all about? The people from what? The Jewish House of Senility? What is that? What are you talking about?
I just did a call return from some really nasty, objectionable person.
Yeah, and they said, "Oi!"
They answered at Miami Jewish Hospital and home.
Oh, so the old age home over there with the old, 140-year-old old Jews who've given all the rest of us Jews a bad name, they're calling in and making potty-mouth comments because I made a joke about the dude. What?
It was not an old Jew. It was some young Jamaican lady.
Oh, some young Jamaican lady over there. Wasn't even one of the Jews. See, with the Jews, we get blamed for everything. I told you, George, we get blamed for everything. Just ask that Louis Farrakhan, okay? That Nazi son of a bitch who never found a Nazi he didn't like, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Go back where you came from, lady. Here's the mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I just was trying to discuss with you the question you asked about how you think it's going to affect our lives.
Yeah.
I think the first segment of our society that's going to know how it's going to affect us is those people that are sitting in jail right now this afternoon when that verdict comes in. Unless you've been incarcerated, which I have, and I stood trial and was convicted of a crime I did not commit.
Yeah.
And now you sit there and you see, and if that verdict comes back guilty, I wouldn't want to be in a prison today or a jail with the guards and their attitude.
No, wait. I'm missing something. This is a long stretch from how it's going to affect our lives.
Well, I think what I'm trying to get out to you is that our lives are affected every day by the laws that are made and the way the police conduct themselves in carrying out those laws. And today, it's almost like a police state. I mean, you get pulled over by a police officer.
Well, what do you mean today? Is that something new? It hasn't been a police state for 30 or 40 years?
Yeah, but it's concurrently every day it gets worse and worse. And I think if this verdict were to come in guilty today, it's going to send a message to the police that they can literally now do whatever they want to do. Whereas if it comes back innocent, they may have to find themselves retrenched.
So in other words, you're buying the argument because there are bad cops and racist cops on the LAPD and elsewhere. Therefore, the trade-off we're going to make is the lives of these two people that O.J. Simpson murdered. Is that what you're saying?
No, absolutely not. I think that's one of the travesties of this thing, that the two did get mixed together. The two should be completely separated.
But that's not what you're saying.
Well, I think what I'm saying is it's an unfortunate fortunate byproduct of the unfortunate circumstances that happened to those two people.
No. What you're saying is we ought to have a not guilty verdict so that people in law enforcement will be able to get away with less, assuming that they really did something here in the first place.
No, I think what should happen is if we should get a guilty verdict, and how do we then get the message that was brought out of that trial, what is really going on?
No matter what the verdict is, Mark Furman is going to wind up, there's going to be a massive investigation. He's almost definitely going to go on trial, and that's how we're going to deal with it. You see, what you're doing is mixing the two things up. You're putting Mark Furman on trial in the O.J. Simpson case, man, and I don't want to talk to you. Thank you so much, my friend. We got lunch from Carol up there at Stand Stage Deli again, which I didn't even know we were getting. But that's great, because I'm going to be here a long time today, folks. I'm going to be here a long time. Why? I don't know. Because we're going to make a big deal out of this, right? Okay, 21 till noon. We're just like everybody else in the media. We're whores, only we tell you. At least I do. The rest of them would say, oh, no, we're just journalists, baby. We're news people. Right. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Let me just tell you, we can square up this whole thing right now. If you just, it boils down to one thing.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what it boils down to.
And what does
get
that
this thing
say?
over with.
Yeah.
It boils down to that there's an overwhelming, ungodly amount of evidence against O.J. He's definitely guilty.
Yeah.
But there's no jury in this world that'll ever convict him. None whatsoever.
Well, what do you mean no jury in the world? How do you know that?
No jury in the world.
Well, I got a deal for you. How about if we keep trying? How about if this jury says not guilty? Let's keep trying till we find a jury. I bet you I could find him.
Oh, I'm sure. But look, these juries were packed and ready to leave the motel before they even started deliberating.
They want out. You're
That's
right about
They've
that.
been sequestered for 9 months.
Right.
You know, they're tired. They want to go home. But they're thinking right now, if you put yourself in the jury's position, they're thinking that as soon as they give this verdict, the judge has already told them as soon as they give this verdict, he's going to shuffle them off the room where there's 40 to 60 news media waiting to talk to them.
Yeah.
And they get the option. Do you want to talk to the media or not?
Yeah, but you're forgetting about all the publishers now, too.
Yeah, exactly. But look at the repercussions. They find this man guilty. They've already promised to burn L.A. Okay, the rumors. They're going to burn L.A. if they find him guilty.
Yeah.
Now, these people want to go in front of news media and say, yeah, my name's Joe Blow. I convicted this guy guilty, and I live at this address.
Yeah.
No way. These people, there's no way. And
yeah, but when you got a good book deal, you know, for a couple of million, you can afford to get the hell out of L.A., you know, which most people probably want to.
Hey, you know, I can make up anything and get a couple million on a book deal.
Yeah, but you weren't on the jury, though, see.
That's true. Good point there, Neil.
Yep.
But the point is, bottom line, he's guilty of sin. He should go away forever, but they'll never do it.
Okay.
I predict not guilty.
Okay, pal. Open line in Dade, 751-1 in Broward, 524. Here's a little note. Well, first, here's a fax that says O.J. will be found guilty, no ifs, ands, or buts. And on the Angels game yesterday, why wasn't Soho's hit ruled a double? Snow had a tough time digging it out from the bullpen. Actually, it wasn't Snow digging it out. It was Tim Salmon, which it goes on to say Salmon does have a cute ass. Keep it up, okay? Yeah, Tim Salmon is he's okay in my book. He's a real player. And poor JT, ordinarily he makes that play. He's a great fielding first baseman. But you can't blame him because Rex Hudler was looking the other way. Did you see the way that Mark Langston was looking at Rex Hudler in the dugout? Like, how come you won't look at me? Because you're too embarrassed because you screwed up the whole game and I was ready to throw you the ball and you screwed it up and the whole inning would have been over and we'd still be in the game and you suck. But it's all over with, okay? It wasn't the Angels' year. They gave it a good shot. We had a lot of excitement, and now the Mariners are going to kick the Yankees' ass, and all those New Yorkers will be crying in their beer, okay? Because the Mariners, man, are a team of destiny. They might just go all the way. It's just, I'm telling you, they're the team of destiny. You can smell it. Can you smell it? Because Goldman, in the very brief struggle, the one glove came off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was that in court? Was that said in testimony?
That's what Marcia says, yeah. That's the prosecution theory, which is why there's no cut on the glove.
Right. All right, makes sense.
And let me also ask you this. If he really did cut himself on that glass in the sink in Chicago, how come there was no blood on the glass, no blood in the sink, and et cetera?
Oh, no, he's definitely guilty.
Oh.
I just didn't hear that part of the testimony, I guess.
There you go.
To hear about that. One final question about the diet. Is there any carbohydrates in that bread at Lorenzo's?
No.
There's none.
Carbohydrate-free.
Carbohydrate-free. Could you deal with that? All right, Neil, thanks a lot.
Okay, pal. Good luck to you. Open line on the purple line, pound IOD, AT&T Wireless. It's 11:45, an hour and a quarter. Man, now the pressure is building. You hear it? You can almost feel it. And the big question in town is...
Does the juice get loose, or does he meet Bruce, his new roommate for life, who's hung like a moose?
Okay, 11:45 at WIOD. George. Let me say it again. 11:45 at WIOD. George. See how well that worked? Let me try it again. 11:46 now at WIOD.
It's been a wild summer in the Atlantic, and with the latest hurricane following her siblings north, the tropics seem to be quieting down. And now, our attention is turned to pressing matters on land.
Truckers get a break on the turnpike. Good morning, it's 7:31. I'm Jackie Bales, News Talk and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
Sea, sky, or land, the news that matters in your world. 610 WIOD News. The best news. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
But the
O.J. Simpson was a hero, loved by millions across the land. He went to visit his ex-wife now. She was hanging with another man. The Juice went home now for a knife and ski mask and a pair of gloves, and back he went. She was tipping her friend the waiter and giving more than 15%. Well, Juice couldn't take it, started slicing and dicing, don't you know, was at the airport before they fell. He made a touchdown in old Chicago. He checked in at the Alibi Hotel, but the LADA, well, he flagged O.J. for illegal procedure with a knife. That's a prison yard penalty, he said, with conviction. That's what you get when you hack the wife out on the LA freeway in a getaway Bronco, pressing something to his skull, wishing he was dead. But it was a cell phone, no, not a pistol. Suicide by tumor, deep in his head. Well, they finally got him. Now it's up to the jury, but he will surely be in jail for life. And now the people, they all say they feel bad for O.J. They forget it ain't okay.
Just lick him.
To hack the wife, yeah. Hack the wife, baby. How come time made O.J. so black?
Okay, the good news is we understand O.J. had many successful bowel movements overnight, so he's feeling pretty loose as a goose. It's 11:53 at 2, whatever the hell it is at WIOD. I'm getting really nervous now. The pressure is building. We only got an hour and 8 minutes. All right, we're building to it. And then what? Then what? Then what? Here's Tamarack. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Lashana Tova.
And back to you.
Neil, the only people I can see being disturbed by this thing that's going on besides O.J. and the families, the jurors have to, if they find him guilty and then watch the tapes that we saw that they didn't, they got to feel really pissed because, to be honest with you, I think that as a jury they should have the right to determine what's plausible and what isn't. And the judge never gave him that right.
Meaning what?
Well, if you present...
In other words, the judge is now going to introduce evidence? How the hell can he do that?
He can't. It's a fait accompli. But had he done it the way he should have in the beginning, the jury should have heard all the evidence, not just what he picked out to be listened to.
Oh, you're talking about the Furman tapes?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you don't understand. I mean, the fact, you see, it's just like that guy from the FBI that the defense wanted to put on the stand. He had no specific evidence. He was talking glittering generalities, that's all. And it's the same with this Furman thing. Just because of the fact that he may have done something once before or talked about doing something before doesn't mean that he planted any evidence here, in addition to which he told the bitch that he didn't plant any evidence in this case anyway. Now, if he was going to tell her all of that other stuff, why would he lie about that?
I hear what you're saying, and I agree up to a point.
I mean, Furman has been, in the closing arguments, they did... Both sides, including the prosecution, they called him everything under the sun. Johnny Cochran compared him to Adolf Hitler. I mean, he's totally discredited.
I understand what you're saying, but the jury never heard the fact that a police officer picked a scab off his arm to create serum content to allow probable cause to enter premises.
What? He picked a scab off his arm to do what?
To get blood.
To get whose blood?
His own blood.
His own blood?
Not in this case.
Oh, not in this
On the
case.
tape.
Well, but that's the point. Even assuming if what you're saying is true, what has it got to do with the price of peanuts and have a nice life? Oh, my God. I'm getting a scab on my brain just from listening to this guy. Okay, we got an open line in Broward, 5249463. An hour, 5 minutes, and 32 seconds, but nobody's counting, okay? Man, are they getting real nervous now? Are they sitting around? Oh, Jesus. Okay, here's the Boynton Beach. Hello?
O'Neill?
Yes, sir?
Tengo mierdas en mis casos, CEOs.
Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello?
Hey, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is B.S. Lyons. I work for a black public forum. We take opinion polls in the black community.
Yes?
So we've been involved in trying to find somebody in the United States that doesn't have an opinion on the O.J. Simpson trial.
Uh-huh.
And we couldn't, so we took the search outside the country, and we flew a representative to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had this person parachute into the Ugandan jungle.
Yeah. Okay, we have an open line in Dade and brought back 40 pounds of mush, all of which is in this guy's mouth at the moment. 751-9463. I mean, I'm talking with the food in my mouth, and my speech is a lot clearer than whatever you're trying to spit out, okay? Spit it out, pal, okay? And it ain't funny. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thanks for the Atkins. I lost 10 pounds in 7 days.
Oh, great.
And as far as the O.J. Simpson trial is concerned, my only really feeling in this case is for the victims, including O.J.'s children.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as what's going to happen at 1 o'clock, you remember that science fiction movie from the 50s, The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Yeah.
I think Michael Rennie's going to be smiling from wherever he is, because everything is going to go bananas. I mean, everything's going to stop at 1 o'clock.
Everything's going bananas.
My. Look out now.
Okay, thank you so much. We have an open line at Dade, 751. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being tried by a jury of your peers. Just listen to these calls, one after another one, man. This is what's out there, baby. And I know if your life is on the line and you want a bunch of really intelligent people sitting around making the decisions, weighing the evidence objectively and dispassionately and making some comment, then you don't want nothing to do with any of these people, okay, including that O.J. jury. So who the hell are you kidding? What do you think about the Brad Pitt photos, Jennifer?
I don't think he was at full attention. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
The benefit of the doubt. I think you're just making excuses.
Great
okay,
abs, though. Great
yeah,
abs.
excellent body, but no big deal. Okay.
Well, maybe he wasn't up for it.
Well, maybe you can work on it. But anyway, so Charlie Feldman is standing by on the courthouse steps there in L.A., and CNN, like everybody else, they're desperate to get stuff in here. And so the anchor says, Charlie, what can you see from the steps of the courthouse there in L.A.? And Charlie says,
look at the tits on that blonde, man.
OJ, you killed Nicole. You killed Nicole. OJ, you killed Nicole. You killed Nicole. I killed Nicole. I killed Nicole. I killed Nicole.
OJ went out to kill her. OJ went out to kill her. OJ went out to kill her. Man. OJ went out to kill her that night. One day, the jury's gonna set free OJ. For all we know, he's gonna head your way. Oh, yes. And OJ's gonna get ya.
Did you,
OJ's gonna get you. OJ's gonna get you. OJ's gonna get you.
Oh, man.
OJ's gonna get you one night.
Just lick them.
OJ, 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 you killed Nicole, you killed Nicole. OJ, 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 you killed Nicole, you killed Nicole. I killed Nicole. I killed Nicole. I killed Nicole.
OJ's gonna get you. OJ's gonna get you. OJ's gonna get you. OJ's gonna get you tonight.
12:09 at WIOD. That means like 51 minutes away from the big moment that America is like. And today they got the cavalry out there. They got on horseback, on moose ass, on everything. They got them on foot, on bike. They're all over the goddamn place in L.A. because naturally it's a very calm city and people there don't overreact. They don't seize the opportunity to loot, to go out there and act like barbarians because they're pissed off, okay? Because I have a feeling no matter what the verdict is at 1 o'clock, there are going to be people who are pissed off. But you know something? That's part of life, it being pissed off. And that doesn't mean you go out there and loot and kill people and burn down your own neighborhood or somebody else's either. But some people have yet to learn that, especially in Los Angeles. Boy, the pressure is mounting now. The media, I'm telling you, you talk about just savoring every last moment and trying to exploit it for fun and profit. They are into this and on top of it to a degree. There's Simpson's business attorney, Leroy Taft. How many attorneys has this guy got? How many attorneys has he got? He's got his buddy with a black bag. He's got this guy. He's got the dream team. And I just want to tell you right now, if you think we're going to exploit this situation here today...
3 minus 50 minutes and counting.
You're right. Okay, here's a lady in the lobby.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Neil. Yeah, today's a big day. You'll get a lot of audience. And anyway, hope you don't get a pain in the neck.
You're in the lobby?
Yes, I couldn't call in, so I'm nearby the neighborhood, so I'm dropping. And
You're dropping?
I'm sorry, my accent.
That's okay.
And I'm so glad, and I believe O.J. is unanimously is no guilty.
Yeah.
And he deserved it. And
he deserved what?
Oh, he goes through a lot of torture for 474 days. And thanks to American justice and the jury.
Well, what do you mean, thanks for American justice? We don't know what the verdict is yet. What are you talking about?
We can bet on $500.
Well, what are you talking about? Thanks for American justice. So, in other words, even if he did it, let's let him off, and then it'll be American justice. Is that what you're saying?
Not really, because not enough blood, no evidence.
Not enough blood?
Yeah.
How about a gallon? Would that have been enough?
No, he has been splashed with all over his body.
How do you know that?
He stabbed
How, even Ron Goldman didn't have any blood on the front of his shirt, and he was one of the ones that got murdered. How did that happen?
That's a mystery. Only God knows.
Only God knows. Well, I got a great idea, okay? I got a good idea. Let's ask God, and then when we get done with that, we'll ask him to assist you, escort you out of the building. Well, who is that? What is she doing in the building?
Remember I told you there was some lady here to see you, like she had an appointment?
No, that's not the one. That's not the lady with the skin cream, is it?
No, I don't think. I hope not.
The one that I signed the picture for?
What did you sign the picture?
I don't know. I said, get out of here, bitch. Something like that.
Linda, was it?
I don't know. Yeah, Linda. Is that who that was?
Yeah.
That's her? Oh, God. Get this cream out of here, okay? Oh, it's going to make you look just like O.J. Brings in a pain-relieving cream. If you want to relieve my pain, honey, get off the phone and get out of the building. Go away, sweetheart. Get out of here. Thank you for American justice. Thank God there are no racial overtones to this trial. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm going to tell you also, as a gay American, Jeffrey Dahmer was framed, and so was John Wayne Gacy. The cops hid all those bodies under his goddamn house. That's right. It's another goddamn anti-fat conspiracy by the cops in Chicago. We know all about them. We know about Dick Daley, what a dick he is. They hid all those poor guys under the house. Here was a guy who was Santa Claus, never stole a freight train, and they fried his ass. We want justice. Every fag in America is going to run out there and protest right now, okay? Or jump back in the closet, one or the other. And by the way, does anybody know that O.J.'s dad was a drag queen? Oh, sorry. Bad timing.
610 WIOD. Odd, outrageous, and shockingly weird.
Packwood can't keep his pecker in his pants.
Are you?
What have you gone and done? Why did you leave the bloody glove? Man, what were you thinking of? OJ, you almost got away. Oh, man. Instead of driving around the freeways, you should have been on Brazilian Airways. All your friends call you the Jew. They say, I hope the jail guards take care of you. Oh, 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 OJ. Man, you could play.
Are you sure?
I used to watch you bust and tackle. Now you walk around in shackles. OJ, you're gonna do the time. Just remember to sleep with your back to a corner, or you'll be walking like Tina Turner. OJ.
Hey, you've been recording all of these today because all of this stuff, all this material, all these 600 and different OJ bits, it's all going to be dead meat after today, right? So all of this documentary footage, all this stuff that they've been stashing away, man, they're unleashing it, they're unrolling it, they're yanking it out. Where are we going? To a lady in Boca. Hello? A lady in Boca, which I hear that radio up in the back, and she's right on the edge.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please play LPGA?
Can I please play it?
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
all.
Let's go to Kendall. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen. What's going on? How are you doing?
Okay.
Good, good.
How do you like that bitch up there? She's making requests. We're like 42 minutes away from the verdict in the OJ trial. America's on the edge of a nervous breakdown. She wants to hear LPGA, okay?
Can you believe it?
Probably some kind of a dyke.
I tell you. Hey, listen, two things. The first thing, OJ
Yes.
not guilty.
Yeah.
And the second thing, I'll tell you why. And I haven't heard anybody mention this. They gave him 5 to 15 minutes to kill the two of them, right? How is he going to get all of that blood off of him and clean himself up to get back and only leave a few drops?
What do you mean all of that blood? How much blood do you know we had on him? Let me say it again.
Well, think about this.
Wait a minute. You see, you don't want to hear the answer. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was going to say, he cut Nicole's jugular, right?
Yeah.
Almost sliced her neck off. Now,
Right.
automatically, that's going to spurt blood everywhere.
How do you know that? How do you know which direction it's spurting in if he came up from behind her?
But still, he was all over. The two of them, they were struggling. They had this whole thing going on. He had to have blood all over.
In addition to which, the speculation is that he knocked her on the head first and that she was like lying in a prone position, and he slit her neck while she was lying on the ground, which in that case would get hardly any blood on him at all, and the only blood would be when Goldman came along and started trying to intervene, and he finally got a lock hold on him from behind and sliced his neck. There's not even any blood on the front of Goldman's shirt.
Oh, I must have missed that day of the trial. Okay, well, I still think he's not guilty. I still think there's too many holes, but I guess that
was the problem with Ron and Nicole. Too many holes, man.
All right, Neil. Nice
Have
talking
a great
to
day,
you.
pal. We'll
Bye-bye.
know soon. Okay, hang on tight, baby. Open line and Dade, 751-9463, 751-WIOD. And like I said, if you think that this radio station, with our years of prestige, with our significance in this market, if you think that we're going to make a circus out of this and we're going to milk it for everything that we can, you're living in a dream world, baby, because one thing about us, we believe in credibility.
D-minus 40 minutes and counting.
All right. Let's go to Lighthouse Point. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you today?
Great.
I got to tell you, I wasn't able to take the pressure, and couldn't sleep last night.
Yeah.
So I did get some information on this I could share with those that are having the same problem.
Okay.
I called the psychic hotline. The psychic hotline has a guilty verdict for O.J. Simpson.
Really?
Now, I got to tell you
I called
this.
the Physic hotline.
With all the lawyers that O.J. has,
Yeah.
there's only one that he needed to hire, and that was Tom Hagen.
Yeah, that's right.
Tom Hagen would have got him off. Marcia Clark with the dead horse.
But keep in
her
mind,
bed.
Tom was not a wartime consigliere, though.
I understand that.
Keep that in mind. This is war, and you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's
Pop
build this for the
Hanko,
rest
look
of the
what I
day.
got.
Neil, we only got 40 minutes left, so I'm going to let someone else get on.
Okay, pal.
Bye-bye.
Hang on tight. Hang on tight. Everybody strap yourselves in and just start squeezing, man. Oh, my God. You would think that this was important. And like I've told you before, there are people get murdered. I'm talking about good, decent people. I mean, you know, Nicole, if you want to say good, decent people, I mean, what are we talking about? She was a slut. I mean, not that she deserved to get murdered, but they're like good, decent people, nice people who get murdered every day, and nobody cares. Nobody cares because they're not celebrities. And by the way, if the fact that he was a football star, if we're supposed to be watching what that means being a football star today, like Brian Blades, huh? And Warren Moon and Irving with the Spike Man? Right. So I say if he was a football player, that's a guilty automatic, okay? You don't even have to waste your money with a trial. 1227 at WID. Those arthritic knees, he couldn't have done it, baby. I'm telling you that right now. Let his ass off and let him out. Isn't that going to be great? He's going to get up. He's going to pick up that little yellow pad, his pencil off the table. He's going to get up, walk out the front door, get in his Bentley, and go straight to McDonald's. How do you like that? You think he's jonesing for a Big Mac? Here's Miami. Hello. Miami. Gone? Impossible, baby. You are now. Open line at Dade, 751 WIOD, a lady in North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
In regard to clothes, nobody mentions the fact that he was wearing a long coat when the driver saw him. And
he was wearing a long coat?
Yeah. When the driver saw him, he mentioned that he was wearing a long coat.
When he saw him go across the lawn?
Right.
Dark clothing. He didn't say a long coat, did he? Did he say that? I thought he said dark clothing.
I don't know, but somewhere it was written that he was wearing a coat.
Well, somewhere a lot of things were written, yeah.
Yeah. And another thing, that Karshikian, he ought to be penalized.
Era Parsegian, yeah.
Yeah. He should have been penalized for getting rid of that suitcase. He knew that was evidence.
Okay, what do you say, Judge? 15 yards. Okay, you got it, sweetheart. Open line at Dade, 751. He should have been penalized. How do you like that? She's got a point. She don't know nothing. Isn't this sad? All these millions of people sitting around watching this, and Robert Kardashian said this, and Johnny Cochran said that, and Frankie Pentangeli did this. They don't know what they're talking about. But she read somewhere that he saw a guy in a coat. He said that he was wearing dark clothing. He first said it looked like an African-American, but he couldn't be sure because it was dark. He didn't see any teeth, so it very likely was. And he saw a guy who was like about 6'2", 200 pounds, which just coincidentally fits O.J. And also coincidentally, because he was buzzing the house before that, no answer. He's there to pick up O.J. I mean, he's his limo ride. He's got to get him to the airport on time, baby. Get him to LAX. There's no answer. No answer. He sees this figure crossing the lawn, hurriedly goes in the house. The lights go on. He finally decides he'll dilly-dally back up there. At that time, it is 10:54 in the p.m. 10:56. 10:56. He buzzes, and guess what? There's a voice on the other end of the phone. It's O.J. So is it logical to assume that just perhaps the person we saw go into the completely dark house and turn the lights on and go up, running upstairs and do whatever he's doing, that might have been O.J.? I think that's a reasonable thing to conclude, don't you? You're damn right I do. And don't go messing with our AP pot, whatever you do. That's all we need, man. They're going to start potchking around with that now. We're going to lose the hold of you. Mark my words, man. Don't let them touch anything.
B-minus 30 minutes and counting.
Uh-oh, now see, what's that? What just happened there, George? What happened to my ping pong game?
They're feeding us a tone, Mitch.
They're feeding it? Are you sure?
No.
He screwed it up. Okay, let's go to Pembroke Pines. Hello. Pembroke Pines.
Yes, hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Neil, I just wanted to say you're the best thing on talk radio.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
And you're doing a good job. And I think I know who have your Corvette, you know.
You know what?
I think I know who has your Corvette.
Yeah.
It's Johnny Cochran.
Probably does. Maybe Al Cowlings has it. Maybe right at 1 o'clock, AC is going to pull up right in the front there. How do you like that with a purple vet?
I tell you.
And maybe in the hatchback, OJ will be in there, 115.
You have a good day.
Hang on tight, man.
All right.
We're almost there. We're almost there, folks. Oh, my God, 29 minutes, but who's counting? What was that little scene that I just saw in there with the scene with Mitch Ween? I mean, are we like, what was that about? We're double checking. We've got the line. The line is fine as GI wine. It's just great, okay? Don't be sticking other people's hands in the pot. Now we're going to start getting upset and then maybe even smoking it. Keep your hands out of the pot. Which, of course, there's a whole drug aspect to this thing because you're dealing with slime balls, okay? I mean, OJ was a slime ball. She was a slime ball, Nicole. And they were like Hollywood people. You know, they were sleeping around. They were carousing. They were doing drugs, all kinds of stuff. And there's a very, very gigantic part of this story that nobody ever heard about. And we'll have to read about in the tabloids as the years and months go on, which is something for a lot of you to look forward to. Here's Boca on the purple line. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Oh, wait a minute. We're getting serious now. Greta Von Braun just made her first appearance on CNN in the morning. Now we're serious.
Neil.
Yes.
Isn't it ironic that the verdict will be served, if it is guilty, on the Day of Atonement, tomorrow, Yom Kippur?
Well, just beforehand. They didn't want to piss Fred Goldman off too much.
Listen, throw out the whole trial, throw out all the evidence, everything.
Yeah.
Why does a man of O.J.'s stature and fame, wealth, who can hire any attorney, which he did in the world, have to get in a Bronco, write a suicide letter that can be interpreted that way anyway, and leave and flee with passport and money? Why does a man of that stature and fame have to do that if he's innocent?
Yeah, I agree. To me, that's the most damning piece of evidence of the entire situation, and they never brought it into testimony.
Why? Isn't Marcia Clark and the rest of the team smart enough to bring that up in the closing?
All these different stories, it was going to blow up in her face, and he was calling people on the phone and telling them their friends that he was framed. He could tell people anything from now until the end of time, okay? What the hell does that prove?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Just like he told us in the first place he was taking a nap, and then all of a sudden he wasn't taking a nap. He was out there chipping golf balls in the dark at 10:30 at night. What are we talking about?
That's right.
And this is a guy who had arthritis so bad he certainly couldn't have jumped over the fence or done this crime. But in the meantime, earlier in the day, he was in such a good mood, he was playing golf. They're all over the place on this thing.
Well, I don't think he has arthritis. He should pucker up and blow. He's guilty, and that's it.
Okay.
All right, happy for him.
And back to you.
Bye.
Happy Sukkot. The Purim line is open, the Purim pound line at pound IOD. Yeah, Greta Von Braun just came on here on CNN, and Charlie Feldman's on there, and he says, hey, you should have seen that blonde man. I am telling you. Well, that's what he asked him. He says, what can you see from the steps on the courthouse? He says, this incredible blonde, she's about 5'10". She's got hooters like a maniac, like watermelons. And as soon as he said watermelon, Johnny Cochran started getting psychotic. There we go with more racial epithets. What are we doing here, by the way? Oh, geez. Now I'm getting really nervous. I'm getting concerned for the first time. We're all set? Everything's working okay? All I hear is, okay, that's good. That's a good sign. I thought it was a bad sign. It's a good sign. It's an omen. 2 open lines are on the green lines. Come on, let's take a quick poll now. We got about 25 minutes. Let's go. We don't care whether you think he's guilty or innocent. In fact, we don't give a crap what you think about anything. You already know that. We want to know what you think the verdict's going to be. Come on, let's zip through these. About 100 calls between now and 1 o'clock. We can do it. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Sunrise.
Yes, sir.
I think he's guilty.
No, you think the verdict is going to be guilty?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there's one. See, I don't care what you think. Can you keep that in mind? Can you be a dispassionate pundit denouncing the hypocrisy of our times? Can you just tell me what you think the jury is going to bring the verdict? This real quick, premature evaluation, what it's going to be. That's what we want to hear. We don't care what you think, okay? America doesn't care what anybody thinks because we're run by the goddamn Gestapo anyway. Here's North Lauderdale. Hello.
Oh, Neil, before I give you my vote, I want to first thank you for the tape. I got it really quick. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I also want to put in my request for mumbling OJ.
Forget it. Okay, let's go.
And the verdict's going to be not guilty, but that's not what I think.
Okay.
Bye.
Open line in Broward, 524-WIOD, 2 on the green lines where they have no opinion. The people in Palm Beach are the people when they have a national survey and they say, okay, who do you like, Clinton, you like Dole, you like this? And then there are always that 7 or 8% of bozos with no opinion. Those are the people in Palm Beach. 1-800-944-9463. North Miami, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you 3 reasons why O.J. killed Nicole and Ron.
Let's go to Fort Lauderdale. What line is that? On 1? Okay, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, what it is, pal?
I think he's guilty.
You think he's guilty?
Yeah.
Is that what you tell me the verdict is going to be?
Yeah, hell yeah, the verdict's going to be guilty.
Okay. Okay, let's make it quick and to the point, okay? We may have to even do a lightning round on this. 751-9463 in Dade, because they just don't get it. 1236 at WIOD, it's getting closer.
610 WIOD. 1,000 milligrams of aspirin is not enough.
D minus 20 minutes and counting.
Okay, 20 till 1 at WID. I mean, we'll always take free food, but who is that for, George? What does he take that? That's for where?
Cheryl and Bob and Horrell.
Oh, that's for Cheryl and Bob and again up front. Way up the end of the hall to your out there to your left, way up in the front. They'll know. They'll flag you down. Thanks anyway, pal. They're just killing us with food here. So anyway, we got 20 minutes and counting. Now, the pressure, you could cut it with a goddamn butter knife. It's getting so thick. We not only have AP on here. Listen to that.
Station's AP
sounds like they're blowing the chauffeur. They're on the wrong holiday.
Our anchored coverage of the Simpson verdict on this channel
at the top of the hour, straight up.
Okay, all right. And then we got KFI, our sister station in Los Angeles.
So much butchery. I mean, it really...
They got a couple of guys on the show. Sound like the kids, the sports kids on WQAM. All right, let's go to Carol and Encino. What do you think, Carol? Let's fry his ass. All right, Carol.
Jerry,
you talk about
if you go to a site and you plan to kill, say, your ex-wife, and then somebody else shows up...
It's rock and roll talk on KFI. All right, Carol, let's talk to somebody in Van Nuys. Okay, here's Van Nuys. Jesus, God almighty. No wonder they're crazy out there in L.A. They're listening to KFI, although the numbers don't show it. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir. What do you say?
Guilty as hell.
Yeah. Okay. See ya. Okay, let's do Miramar. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
If you find his blood at Bundy, you must convict on Monday.
All right.
Oh!
Nice. See ya. He's a poet and he don't know it. So there's 4. See, they're just giving their opinion. They're not telling me what they think the jury's going to do because they can't relate to the jury because even as dumb as our audience is, they're rocket scientists compared to the jury. You know what I'm saying? So what do you say out there at KFI?
She picked the glove.
All right. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hello. The jury's going to find him not guilty.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't think so. Open line, I think you're right, though. Open line at Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Our quick instant, I mean, we're on, let's get the right thing in here. Man, the pressure, I've never been in my life. Here's a lady in Tavernier. Hello.
Absolutely 100% not guilty.
Okay. It's O.J. Jr. Open line in Dade, 751-9463. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello. West Palm. I know you're a little slow, but...
This is North Palm.
What is it?
This is North Palm.
Like I said, North Palm. Close enough for me.
No, not guilty verdict.
Okay.
Hey, Neil, if I wanted to get a hold of you by letter, what's your address?
WIOD, Miami, 33141.
33141.
You got it.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay. By the way, OJ's your new neighbor. Here's Miami. Hello.
Mark Furman. He framed me. Oh!
Let's do Hialeah. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Guilty as hell.
Okay. So we got 5 guilty, 4 not guilty, and of course this is a very scientific poll. We're going to bring in the guy with the long ponytail in a couple of seconds, who's really Norm Kent with the ponytail.
Come after.
Yeah, well, I've been very skeptical on a guilty verdict, and I was listening to CNN. They were interviewing Kathleen Bell and her attorney, Taylor Dane.
Taylor Dane's now an attorney?
I'll get out of here. Here's Miami on the purple line. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
See how happy they are about this in L.A., man? They're quelling from it. Yes, sir. Speak to me. Going
not
once.
Guilty.
Going, what is it?
Not guilty.
Okay. You got to speak into that thing with little holes in, okay? And occasionally a little comment in the phone would help, too. Here's a lady. Now, what's that? Oh, Guitar Man is on here.
Oh, Jay's guilty. Oh, Jay's guilty.
Oh!
He's guilty. Yes, he's guilty.
Oh!
Let's gas his ass. Oh!
All right. I bet they don't have that on KFI, do they?
To the house.
Okay, let's go to the house. Here's a lady in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Neil. I think he's guilty, but he's going to get off.
Okay, not guilty then.
Not guilty.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, see, let me say it again. Don't preface because I understand where you're coming from, but don't tell me that. Like, I think he's guilty too, but I think he's walking, baby. Even Fats Domino never sang I'm walking like this. He's walking out that door at about 1:15 this afternoon. Thank you all very much. The checks are in the mail. Let me get to the airport right now. I got a little date in somewhere where they don't have no extradition just in case they change their mind. Can't change their mind, baby. That's called double trouble. That's right. Double jeopardy. How about we go for super jeopardy? How about like a double jackpot? Huh? For $5 million, I'll take Johnny Cochran and the Jewish guy. And you know, Bob Shapiro turned out to be absolutely useless. You know that? Barry Scheck was the Jew guy that really did the job there. That's what Farrakhan said. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Johnny Cochran is guilty.
As a matter of fact, even Jesse Jackson said we got to look to Hymietown to get this brother off. That's what he said. Here's Davey. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil, guilty. Boy.
Boy, okay. 6-6. I say we got a hung jury right here. We got somebody hung in this town. I haven't found him yet. Here's Miami on a Broward line. Desperate.
Neil God.
Yes, sir.
Not guilty. LA's going to burn. Later.
A real optimist. LA's going to burn. Listen to these people on KFI, and you think they're going to burn the city down?
Been bogged down. Don't be concerned with the 45,000 pages.
Okay.
It really shouldn't have been that long.
Well, I sure hope Andrew and the Asswoods don't. I hope he's not listening over there at QAM. They'll be right down there to KFI in LA to hire all these happy talk guys. All right. So I see our pain in the ass friends from Channel 4. I mean, our good buddies from Channel 4 are back again here trying to exploit all of this stuff. Not that they want to be like Channel 7. At least they weren't promoting It's All Over yesterday because they want to get the jump on everybody next door. That's it. By the way, they also got the result of next year's presidential election coming up tomorrow on Channel 7. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
My name's Fred Cahoon from Jimmy's. The man's not guilty.
All right, Fred. Thank you so much. Okay, Fred, go down to Jimmy's and see Fred, okay, and give him what for. So what do we got? We got 8 not guilties and we got 6 guilty. As if it really makes a difference, okay? We're taking a poll. We're taking a big scientific one, and when we're done, we're going to climb right up to the top of it. How do you like that? Here's Boca. Hello? Boca. Going once. Going twice. Too slow as usual up there. You're real slow. Miami. Hello?
Not guilty.
Okay. Good call. God, that's the first call we had from a goddamn computer, wasn't it? Here's Homestead. Hello? Homestead.
Hello, not guilty.
Okay. They're even having trouble just blurting out the words, okay? 10-6, man, on the not guilty side. Not too many people jumping to the conclusion this jury is going to do it, that they're going to fry the juice or even squeeze the juice. 1246, do you see those people stand out in front with the T-shirts, turn the juice loose? That's my favorite. Turn the juice loose, baby. All right. Here's some juice for you.
Squirt, squirt.
1246 at WIOD. Charles Alfieri's come up with a new hair replacement system that he calls the hairline that actually creates a natural-looking hairline. You see, the most critical area of any hair replacement system is, how did you guess, the hairline. With this new system from Charles Alfieri, the closer you look, the more natural it looks, and the hairline, too. The hairline is created with the appropriate recessions for each man, so it looks like the hair is growing right out of your scalp, and the effect is just incredible. Not like Hank Stram, who looks like it's growing out of his ass. So if minoxidil didn't work, if you're not happy with your plugs, your transplants, those snaps embedded deep in your scalp, whatever it is, or maybe you're wearing another piece from some other company, you owe it to yourself, if you want to look like a real mensch, to visit the Charles Alfieri studio in Fort Lauderdale at 4390 North Federal Highway. And you'll discover why he's helped so many thousands of people for over 27 years now, whether they got the big bucks or they're just schleppers like most of you. Charles Alfieri Studios, call them toll-free for their free brochure, 1-800-321-2413. 1-800-321-2413.
610 WIOD. The edge gets sharper every day.
3-10 minutes and counting.
What'd he say again?
Oy!
That's what I thought he said. Okay, it's getting pretty close. You getting nervous, Andy? Andy's got his hands deep in his pockets feeling the change. Everybody's getting really psychotic about this. And then when it's all over, talk about anticlimactic. I mean, you do understand how this works, don't you? And they're all going to come in, the judge is going to look at him and smile, and everybody's going to sit down real tense, filling up their pantaloons. You know what I'm saying? And then the foreman's going to read the thing, and he's going to say, okay, is that what you've decided? They're going to say yes, and that's it. And O.J.'s going to walk out of the courtroom and walk out into Never Never Land. Wouldn't that be something? As he walks out the courtroom, I'm going to Disneyland. Can't you see that now? You just know that those bastards are out there right now, those grave robbers. Michael Eisner's probably sitting on the front courthouse steps right now. Here's Coral Springs on the Purple Line. Hello.
Hiya, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Guilty, and it will be overturned in appeal.
Okay. Okay, this guy's, he's even got the extra edge there. He knows it all, man. This guy's psychotic and psychic. Here's Boca on 7. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
The jury tried it out and discovered it fits. Guilty.
Okay. Okay, like I said, if they do acquit, they're full of... here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Buenos dias.
Verdict will be not guilty.
Okay.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay, everybody's got an opinion now. You know what they say. Everybody, just like assholes, everybody's got one. Everybody's got an opinion. Let's go to Margate. Hello. Margate.
This guy is as guilty as Michael Jackson.
But is that what's going to be the jury? See, you're giving me your opinion.
Not guilty.
Okay. You see, now the whole thing is twisted around because people are very anxious to give their own opinion, which is fine. It's America, and until we get Bob Dole elected next year, or God forbid, until Pat Buchanan gets in, you're still allowed to have your own opinion. The thought police aren't coming to your door yet, Rick Riley. But the problem is, people are giving their own, but they're not telling me right off the bat what they think the jury's going to do. Keep them in mind. Keep those 12 bozos in mind, and forget about yourself, okay? Forget what a genius you are. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello.
It's going to be a guilty verdict, you Jew bastard.
Okay. So that's 12-9. Who was that? Was that Johnny Cochran? But he does like Israel, though. Keep that in mind. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I on?
You're on.
Yeah. I have 2 items. All the TV experts are in shock over, how short of a time it took them to decide. Why should they go over the entire thing for over 2 weeks if they all agree on a verdict?
Right.
There's no point in rediscussing.
Especially when they're in a hurry to go home and get some, right?
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
And then the verdict, the only evidence they asked to review was the one that it was most damaging.
Yeah.
There was 2 jurors taking notes, which probably were the 2 that were not that sure about the evidence.
Okay, and the answer is?
And the answer is it couldn't be guilty.
Okay.
And we listened to you 20 years.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
And have a great life.
Good luck.
Thanks. Okay, so how'd they do it on KFI?
Wait, you've divided us into camps. Who's
right.
People different. I mean, whether you're black, white, blue, green, what, you have different people with different opinions. It doesn't make a difference.
I know, but some opinions are rooted in fact and logic.
Well, they sure sound awful happy, aren't they? They probably sold spots for $5,000 a pop. Here's Boca. Hello.
Nels.
Yes, sir.
12 bozos, 1 guilty verdict.
Okay. Let's go to Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes.
This is Johnny Cochran.
Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I'd say here's one for you. I got guilty, 1st degree for Nicole, 2nd degree for Goldman.
Okay, so it's kind of like half and half.
A little half and half.
And I'll take mine dark.
All right.
Okay, see ya. Okay, so put him down to guilty because we don't have the time to go through all those contusions and you know what I'm saying? You do know what I'm saying. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Guilty as hell.
Okay, so what do we got so far? We got 11 or 13 guilty, and we got 12. It's like even, Steven, man. Because you want to know why it is? Because we don't know.
There seems to be the backbone of this and that and that.
Oh yeah, and generally that's true in the family.
That is true, but we also stand behind our black men.
All right, Nadine, thank you for the call.
Even when they kill a couple of people, that's all right. Okay, let's go to Pompano. Hello.
Get the O.J. Jr.
Okay, here's Boca on the purple line. Hello.
Not guilty because they never found any of O.J.'s blood at the murder scene.
Okay. Let's go to, Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, I think the jury's going to find him guilty, and God forbid they find him innocent. All those millionaires in Brentwood are going to trash those country clubs.
There you go. They're getting ready to do it right now, as a matter of fact. There are going to be big white riots all over Los Angeles, maybe even all the way down to San Diego and up the freeway to Frisco. All those fags are going to come out in Frisco again. Wait a minute. I don't want to interrupt myself, but...
B-minus 5 minutes and counting.
Oh! Can you handle it? I don't think you can handle the pressure, can you, folks? Are you, like, sitting down? Are you, like, in a prone position right now? If I were you, I would lay down right on the floor. I would just grab whoever is next to me and clench their thing real tight. That's what I would do right now if I could. Here's Hollywood. Hello. No, not yours. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah. So you're full of what?
Cochran went down. Tell the jury to ignore all the evidence and just do what you want. Do it.
What did he say? Cochran went down? Well, let's not get into that. That's coming later from his ex-wife. Let's do Miami. Hello.
Jury says 1 first, 1 second.
Okay. See, these people now, these real intellectuals, they're starting to make it complicated. 10, 16 to 13 on the guilty side, getting really, really tight. 4.5 minutes and counting, baby. It's getting emotional now. I bet you they're going to be counting down here on AP pretty soon. Huh? Are they? And KFI, I think they're so enthralled with the calls.
And the gloves and a knife with them?
I don't think they're even carrying the verdict on KFI. They're so wrapped up with these goddamn phony phone calls.
On him, and then she comes in, he sees Goldman, and he goes nuts. And he takes them down. He takes them both down. But I think the thing is that they keep on forgetting to talk about that bag that Cato offered to get from OJ, and that probably had a coat in it or something that had all the blood on it.
There you go. Rest my case. So anyway, they're filing into the courthouse right now, as a matter of fact. This is an exclusive here at WID. They're filing in. All the attorneys on both sides are in there. The little judge is getting ready to come out and sit on his throne, and the jury will be in there in a couple of minutes. And O.J., look at that. O.J. sitting right by, and Johnny Cochran keeps rubbing his back, giving him that back rub. He think he likes it. And O.J. stands up and looks into the audience, looks straight at Fred Goldman and said,
I killed Nicole.
Here's and 20 years for overacting. Here's a mobile in Jupiter. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I figured out why F. Lee Bailey went and saw O.J. last night.
Yeah.
He wanted to get the bill settled up for the verdict.
There you go. Good point.
So I think he's going to be found guilty.
Okay. Of course, F. Lee, like I said, he ain't getting a dime from this because he's got those $400 billion from all the drug people down here in South Florida, and he's busy buying O.J. a house, okay?
No. He never stalked Goldman. He was never jealous about Goldman to any large extent. He was somewhat jealous about him, and I don't know if this was...
Okay, keep that in mind. He was somewhat jealous about him, okay? These experts, these little 10-year-old experts sitting out there at KFI in Los Angeles, going on the air, opening up a big mouth. Of course, keep in mind, that's the same station that put Daryl Gates on the air, okay? I mean, it'd be one thing to put Bill Gates on the air. That might be okay, but this station put Daryl Gates on the air, gave him a show for about 2 days, and they said, oh, nobody cares anymore. Bye, Daryl. Same thing with Howard. They put him on here in Chicago for like 5 minutes. Oh, gee, Howard, you said something we don't like. Goodbye. By the way, Howard's picked up on WJJD in Chicago, started there this morning. I just thought I would mention that, okay? So now the countdown gets real serious, okay? In fact, I think I just better keep this up just in case. We don't want to miss a bloody thing.
Horrible picture of her.
Uh-huh. Okay, that was really beautiful. So now we got to potski around for like the next 10 seconds while we wait for that. Was that Furman Jr.? That was Philip Van Adder? Okay. We got 2 minutes and counting, baby. 2 minutes.
There at the end. That's it. No more. Go away. And that may have been her fatal decision.
I have a question.
They're hyperventilating on AP. Do you hear that? They're not doing
Station's
this.
AP hotline.
Okay, calm down.
Talking up a live special report. The Simpson verdict. Anchored coverage of the Simpson verdict comes your way on AP hotline at the top of the hour, straight up. This live special report will be anchored by the AP's Mark Smith. Our anchored coverage comes your way at the top of the hour, straight up.
I killed Nicole.
AP hotline talking up a live special report.
Talking up real
anchored
good,
coverage
okay.
begins 1 minute, 30 seconds from...
I killed Nicole.
From Mark, okay. Okay, I think we can handle it, George. I think we can we get another call or two on here because these people are foaming at the mouth. After we get the verdict, you'll have plenty of opportunity to vent. You'll have plenty of opportunity to open an eye. Not you, pal. We heard enough of your crap. Oh, and if this Mark, what's this guy's name? Mark Smith from AP Audio. If this guy interrupts while in the middle of it, there's the judge. We're on CNN. There's the little Jap judges there right now. He means business. He's not going to potchki around, okay?
Straight up.
There's OJ sitting there. He's got that look on his puss. Or is this? No, this is from yesterday. See? Okay, that's good. That means we can go do a talk up. See, you're shaking your head. You think you got a tough job, huh, sweetheart? So anyway, I think what they're trying to say is OJ's going to take a big dump in about 5 minutes, which is what we're having to do a lot. So, you know, like I said, and when we come back after we finally get the verdict and the whole song and the dance is over with, how is this going to change anybody's life except for all the housewives and the other misfits out there who never had a life, who've made this into a goddamn substitute life? Look at the engineering staff in there, man. Look at that. We got one on one side and one on the other. It's like the scales of justice, only Steve Ziegler is weighing down the left side pretty heavy duty at this point. That's right. It's enough to make you flip your wig, Steve. So anyway, here's the moment. We've gone through months and months and months. We've agitated and we've palpitated and we've masturbated. We're just going crazy. This is WIOD in Miami. It's 1 o'clock p.m. in the Eastern Zone. It's 10 o'clock a.m. in the Western Zone. And now comes the goddamn moment of truth, baby. Here it is.
This is a live special report from AP Network News, the Simpson verdict. Good day to you. I'm Mark Smith. We are about to learn the verdict of the century. After a trial lasting more than a year, testimony running to 8 months, and closing arguments of nearly a week, jurors deliberated yesterday less than 4 hours before telling Judge Lance Ito they'd reached a verdict in the case of the People versus O.J. Simpson. There were gasps in the courtroom at the stunning quickness of the verdict. Judge Ito ordered it sealed until this morning, this hour, so that all the lawyers could be present for its reading. And so it is that O.J. Simpson spent what must have been an agonizing night in his jail cell waiting to hear whether he will go free or spend the rest of his life in prison for the murders of his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman. Court has not yet convened, and we are awaiting Judge Ito's now familiar opening of Back on the Record in the Simpson matter. Yesterday, the lawyers in the Simpson matter were, to put it mildly, shocked at how quickly the jury had acted, said defense attorney Carl Douglas, who sat next to Simpson when the jury reported in. Surprise doesn't begin to describe my feelings. Prosecutor Christopher Darden told reporters, nothing shocks me anymore.
I killed
Jurors
Nicole.
asked for one brief readback, the testimony of limousine driver Alan Park, before asking for verdict forms. When they filed into their seats, we're told they avoided Simpson's gaze. We are joined now, as we have been throughout this trial, by correspondent Brian Bland at the L.A. Criminal Courts building. Brian, can you set the scene for us out there?
Good morning, Mark. The scene inside the building is one of incredible tension, and we're everyone just waiting. That you can feel the tension building. There's very little else to say about what's going on inside the building. One can well imagine what's going on in the hearts and minds of the families involved in this murder trial, the attorneys who have worked 20-hour days, and in the mind of O.J. Simpson as well, as he waits to see Judge Ito now taking his seat in the courtroom.
We can see Judge Ito in his chair now.
His counsel, Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Cochran, Mr. Kardashian, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Blazer. People are represented by Ms. Clark, Mr. Darden, and Mr. Hodgman. The jury is not present. Good morning, counsel. All right, the record should reflect that earlier this morning at 9 o'clock, the court met informally with counsel here in the courtroom because there are too many lawyers to go into chambers this morning for the purposes of discussing notifications to the jurors regarding their rights of privacy and the interest of the news media to interview them or speak to them following the delivery of the verdict in court here today. The court distributed to the parties copies of the questionnaire that has been distributed to the jurors, and also the notice to them regarding confidentiality under 237 of the Code of Civil Procedure. And those two questionnaires have been returned by the jurors. They have uniformly indicated their desire that their private information will remain confidential. They have also indicated to the court unanimously a desire not to speak to the attorneys concluded after the conclusion of the trial, and not to speak with the news media either. All right, counsel, is there anything else we need to take up before I invite the jurors to join us? All right, Deputy Trower, let's have the jurors, please.
Well, that's interesting, Brian, that they have elected not to speak to reporters. What exactly are we going to hear at this point, Brian?
Well, the jury forewoman will get the sealed envelope with the verdict forms in it back from the court clerk. She'll inspect the envelope to make sure nothing happened to it overnight. She'll check the jury verdicts, the verdict forms, I should say, Mark, and then all of that will be passed on to the judge through the bailiff, I presume, and the bailiff will then hand it over to his clerk, Gidry Robertson. It is the clerk who reads the verdict in the trial.
Now, it's my understanding, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, that people are going to have to listen pretty closely for the verdict because there's not a microphone directly in front of Mrs. Robertson.
As of a few minutes ago, that question was, or problem, I should say, Mark, was still attempting to be solved by the pool people who handle the TV and the radio feed in the courtroom. They were optimistic at about 10 before the hour of trying to get a mic onto Mrs. Robertson. I don't know at the moment if they were successful.
Well, I got to say, I was looking on her desk as the camera in the courtroom, the lone camera that has shown us this trial over these many months, swept past, and I did not see anything on the desk. Of course, obviously something could be affixed to her lapel. We, again, will have to wait and watch and, of course, listen. And so we are about to hear the verdict.
Please be seated.
I hear Judge Ito telling the jurors to have seats.
We have now been rejoined by all the members of our jury panel and our alternates. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Mrs. Robertson, would you, do you have the envelope with the sealed verdict forms, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, would you give those to Deputy Trower?
She stands and hands the envelope to one of the sheriff's deputies.
And would you return those to our four-person juror number one?
51-year-old divorced black woman seated in seat number one.
Four-person, would you please open the envelope and check the condition of the verdict forms?
Obviously, the jurors, as they have been throughout this trial, remaining out of camera shot. So we can only surmise what is happening now. Juror number one holding the forms. Courtroom camera focused tightly on O.J. Simpson, his lips occasionally pursed. Wearing what looks to be a light gray suit. White shirt. Patterned tie.
Isotoner gloves.
Looking over to the corner of the jury box, it would appear.
Yeah.
Again, we'll need to listen closely because much of this is going to be happening off microphone.
Then dummy up.
All right, Madam Foreperson, you've had the opportunity to review the verdict forms.
Yes.
Are they the same forms that you signed, and are they in order?
Yes, they are.
All right, would you hand those, please, to Deputy Trower? And you have signed and dated those verdict forms in...
The deputy retrieves the forms then. The courtroom camera is not showing us where the forms are now, but we believe they're on Judge Ito's desk.
Yeah.
Simpson flanked by Johnny Cochran on his left. Robert Kardashian, his longtime friend and attorney, on his right. Cochran has his hands pressed together in front of his mouth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and of the jury, I'm going to ask that you carefully listen to the verdicts as they are being read by the clerk, Mrs. Robertson. As after the verdicts have been read, you will be asked if these are your verdicts. And I would caution the audience during the course of the reading of these verdicts to remain calm, and that if there is any disruption during the reading of the verdicts, the bailiffs will have the obligation to remove any persons disrupting these proceedings. All right, Mrs. Robertson.
2 counts of murder facing O.J. Simpson.
All right, Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury?
Simpson does.
Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles. In the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
Johnny Cochran grasps Simpson's shoulders. Simpson slaps Robert Kardashian on the back and breathes.
California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, further find a special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least 1 crime of murder of the first degree and 1 or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Signed this 2nd day of October 1995, Juror 230. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
All right, counsel, Mr. Simpson, would you be seated, please? Have it quiet in the courtroom, please.
The tears you hear from the Goldman family.
Mr. Robertson, would you please poll the jurors?
Fred Goldman, his face a picture of shock. Simpson shaking hands now with all of his attorneys leaning over to whisper in Robert Shapiro's ear.
Is this your verdict? Jury number 2, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 3, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 4, as to count 1, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 5, as to count 1, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, as to count 1, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 8, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 9, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 11, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 12, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Okay, count 2. Juror number 1 is to count 2, is this your verdict?
Throughout this
Juror number 2 is to count
rereading of the verdicts to all the jurors, the polling of the jurors, the prosecutors sit stone-faced at their table. Christopher Darden facing directly toward the jury. Marcia Clark, William Hodgman facing forward, their heads glancing to the side. The courtroom camera showing us again
as to count 2, is this your verdict?
the pictures of the family. I think that's Kim Goldman's voice, who you hear mostly sobbing, being comforted by her father.
The clerk is directed to record the verdicts as read. The parties agree to waive reading of the verdicts as recorded. Mr. Cochran, do you waive reading of the verdicts as recorded? Ms. Clark, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to at this time take this opportunity to publicly thank you for the service that you've given to us. The burdens that we've placed upon you were enormous, and words can't begin to express the debt that we owe to you for the time and patience and exertion that you've given to us during the course of this case. I will have an opportunity to meet with you privately later, and I'll give you my private comments when we have a chance to meet. I want to caution you at this time that there is, as you know, intense media interest in this case. The news media will probably seek you out at your home or at your place of business. And I would implore that the news media act responsibly to avoid harassing you or identifying you without your consent or otherwise causing you concern. Whether you wish to cooperate with the news media is, of course, entirely up to you. However, I must warn you to expect the worst as far as that is concerned. We want to, I know I share with you in expressing our thanks to the bailiffs from the Sheriff's Department, to our court reporters, Miss Foxham and Miss Olson, to the research attorney, John Byrne, who's assisted us, our Pepperdine law clerks, Mr. Gollivan and Ms. Carswell, our media liaison, Jerry Ann Hazlett, and her staff, and, of course, the jury commissioner, Gloria Gomez, and her staff. All right, counsel, is there anything we need to take up before we excuse the jurors, Mr. Cochran?
Johnny Cochran has asked to approach the bench here. And Marcia Clark stepping up there as well. Again, you can hear the tears of the families, the sigh of relief from O.J. Simpson, slapping the backs of his attorneys and shaking hands with them. And so the end of a more than year-long saga, the trial of the century, not guilty on both counts. You're listening to continuing coverage of the Simpson verdict from AP Network News.
Okay, it's all over. 114 at WIOD. What did I tell you?
610 WIOD. Assume the position.
Okay, I'm assuming it. I'm in the fetal position at this point. Okay, we'll get our instant analysis now. Might as well do that. I told you it was going to be not guilty. This is a sham and a farce that we've been dragged through for the last 8 or 9 months now. And, basically, this, number one, was not a jury of his peers. It's not the composition, much less the city of Los Angeles, certainly not the city of Brentwood or whatever the hell it is, township, whatever they call it. That's number two. And number three, you've got a situation here where the guy who's a multimillionaire who brings in the dream team, brings in all these guys, can put on a act. Johnny did his sermon on the Mount there in the end, and screw the evidence. You've got overwhelming, compelling evidence. The man lies through his teeth. We got no alibi. Murdered these two people, and justice can be bought. That's the only thing we learned from this, is that justice can be bought, and especially if you appeal to people on a bigoted standpoint, because that's what was done. 9 blacks on a jury, and when it came in real fast, I don't know, maybe that was window dressing about the thing with the limo driver. I have no idea why they even listened to the Allen Park testimony again, because it's pretty obvious at this point, these 12 had their minds made up right off the bat. Maybe there was the one holdout, the one woman, and they said, well, he was kind of dubious, and Cato said this, and he said that, etc., and that was it. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, here's the Lantana. Hello.
Holy shot.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think it's pathetic.
Yeah, I do, too. The thing, I called for your little poll right before, and the thing that got me going, the reason I called, they have all the pictures outside of the courthouse.
Yeah.
And somebody had their placard up, OJ, guilty or not, free him.
What is an act rate?
Yeah,
you know what that's like? It's like the people that were running along the freeway as he was fleeing in a Bronco. Remember that?
Yeah.
And they were, go OJ, go OJ. See, this is this blind hero worship that we got in this country toward jocks. And, of course, as we're finding out more and more every day, most of the jocks are scumbags.
Yep. Yeah, it's turned out.
Or a hell of a lot of them anyway.
It's a shame. No more heroes in this country.
Yeah.
At least of all him.
Okay, well, the message we get out of this is make a lot of money, so just in case. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, pal.
Bye.
And speaking of making a lot of money, now that he's out, he's going to walk out that courtroom door. Can you imagine the money that he's going to be raking in now? Everybody would say, oh, poor O.J., it cost him millions for this defense. That's small potatoes. That's nickels and dimes. It's pocket change compared to the millions that's going to be made now. The book, the screenplay, the movie, the interviews, the you name it, he's going to be doing it. Now he can go back to being a hero again. How I Was Framed by O.J. Simpson. And even the notes he was taking on the, on the legal tablets, we'll probably be selling those, too, with the X's nose on it. Oh, it's a goddamn play from the Bills. Here's Miami. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Not too good.
Yeah, me neither. This was the most disgusting display of money-buying justice I have ever seen.
Yeah.
This is the most horrendous thing. How could you just forget about all the evidence? And this Johnny Cochran guy just pulling out the race card, the race deck, all 52 cards he pulled out. And who cares if Mark Furman is a racist? That doesn't mean he was a genius, you know? I mean, this is just gross. This is the most gross thing I've ever seen in my life.
And I'm going to tell you something. If the guy who was accused of the crime would have been white, and the two victims would have been black, and it would have been exactly the same evidence, same situation.
It would have been different.
And
It might have been different.
But my point is this: if they would have had 9 whites on the jury and come up with the same not guilty verdict, they would be rioting again for other reasons in L.A. today.
That's right.
But when you got the rare case of a black man, whether it's Michael Jackson or O.J. Simpson, who's a multimillionaire and can buy off his own justice, then hallelujah, we finally got justice.
And I just feel so bad for Goldman's family, especially because Nicole's family knew he was an abusive man, and it was going to happen.
They were siphoning off the money tree, but the Goldmans, wrong place at the wrong time, and they really got stuck.
That's true. Well, thanks a lot, Neil.
Okay, pal.
This is an outrage.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Open line at day 7. Welcome to America, where justice is just a figment of your imagination. Okay, you can't complain about the justice in this country because there isn't any, except maybe on the Braves. 121 at WIOD.
So this former football star stands in the courtroom and watches his life pass before his eyes.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
And life goes on. The trial of the century, from start to finish, on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
I killed Nicole.
Okay, 125 at WIOD. Here's Dania. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what more to say, but this has been one of the worst days of my life. I've never been so stunned. I mean, just watching the Goldman family like that, I'll tell you, it makes you count your blessings. I know one thing. Unfortunately, in this day and age, money does buy justice for all the wrong reasons. And I just hope people really watch this case very closely and learn a lot from it, because I'll tell you, if you ever want to commit a crime, number one, make sure you have lots of money saved up, and number two, make sure you live in L.A., because it's going to be one depressing Yom Kippur.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now. I just wanted to call and just express my opinion, that's all.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
Yeah, I wonder how the Goldman family is going to be feeling on Yom Kippur tomorrow, as if we have to ask. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. I wonder how the Shapiro family and the Sheck family and some of these other grave robbers, how they're going to feel. I told you there's no more justice. It's a question. It's an acting game. We're not seeking to get justice here. We're not looking to get the facts. We're going to find out who the best actors are. That's what it's all about. Who are the best actors? Who can sway the emotions of these schmucks from off the street? And anybody that continues to tell me that the jury system works in this country, here is the greatest example of what a failure it is you could ever have. They've got professional jurors in England. They got professional jurors in Canada, I think. I'm pretty sure they do. How come we got the schmucks from off the street? Who the hell wants to be tried by a jury of their peers? Who wants to go out in the goddamn shopping mall and find 9 morons out there who can't even identify a picture of the goddamn vice president but know who Judge Ito is and go on trial and have your life hanging in the balance? There you go, baby. Good luck to you. Better you than me. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
You're the only guy who has the balls to tell the truth.
That's for damn sure, pal.
Let me tell you something. I was born here, but my parents are Cuban. I'm getting on a raft, and I'm going back to Cuba.
All right.
I'm taking my Panther tickets with me, too.
There you go. Well, they might be. I think they're moving to Havana is what I heard.
Neil, why do they let blacks get away with? They're more racist than anybody.
Well, I don't know if they're more. I don't know. I wouldn't say they're more racist, but I would say that it's equal at this point.
And Johnny Cochran gets away with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's guilty of sin. Michael Jackson paid the kid $20 million.
Well, he's paid a whole bunch of kids. LaToya found a whole bunch of checks in the closet, don't forget.
Okay,
and she found Michael in there, too, yeah.
Anytime there's a black person, they get away, racism, okay, all blacks, he's innocent, or whatever. It's incredible.
Okay, pal. Good luck to us. Like I've said before, there were no white people saying that Richard Speck and John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer and Charles Manson and Ted Bundy. Nobody was screaming, hey, these are white guys. That's why they're getting framed. And sure, we know that blacks, generally get crappy justice because most black people don't have very much money in American society. They're still kept under the thumb and at the bottom of the ladder. So what this turned out to be was a symbolic, a Pyrrhic victory for black people who are in poverty and can't afford justice. And so basically what happened here is they made a trade-off. They said, we'll trade the lives of Nicole Simpson Brown and Ron Goldman for a little bit of justice. Now, if you're willing to accept that, if you think that's the way it goes, then, hey, great. I would just, all you Anglos out there, just get out of your jobs right now and say, hey, some minority, even if you're a moron, come on in, take my job. I'll go out and go on welfare, see how I like it, because we got to make up for lost time. Yes, Jennifer?
This is a KFI React right after the verdict.
Okay, thank you. Okay, did you hear our sister station, by the way, those disc jockey talk show hosts? Hey, how you doing? Here's the OJ, huh? Are they on there? All right, let's get some real good feedback from KFI in L.A.
It makes no sense. There's no logic. There's no reason. There's no rationality. Please, nobody tell me that. This American jury system is something to be proud of. This is disgusting.
What is going to haunt me?
A man got away with double murder.
The Kim Goldman's crying is going to haunt me for a long time. I could hear that clearly in the audio from the courtroom. She bent over, crying, sobbing.
Look at this. Look at this. I can't even look at these pictures. She's sobbing, and there's freaks, I guess, outside cheering
and pointing at the LAPD.
Just lick them.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. 129 at WIOD. There's KFI. And isn't that interesting? Isn't that what I just said? Isn't that what I just got through telling you, man? The jury system blows. It's time to blow up the jury system, man. And by the way, it might be interesting to point out if you're, watching, if you're listening, you're obviously not near a TV set, but outside the courtroom, just in case there was a whole bunch of shot disturbers getting ready, just in case the guilty verdict came down, and then they decided, oh, hey, it's not guilty, so instead of a riot, let's have a party, baby. All right. How do you like that? They were going to have a different kind of a barbecue. Now they whipped out the goddamn weenies and the sausage. Here's South Miami Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Okay.
You're listening to a African-American male who does believe that O.J. Simpson did have something to do with the murders.
Something to do.
He had something. I don't believe he alone could kill two people by himself and just absolutely, there are no clothes found, there's no murder weapon, there's no this, there's no that. Sure, all the evidence points towards...
let me ask you this question. You think if we had that little black bag, that might be like a little more illuminating for us?
Yes, I certainly do. I certainly do.
See, I'd like to know why we didn't hear more from Al Cowlings. We didn't hear more from Robert Kardashian. Of course, then there's always that lawyer-client privilege with Kardashian, so they probably figured they could use that as an excuse.
Right.
But there's an awful lot here that we didn't hear about, some evidence that we know existed but disappeared.
And see, the issue with me is that if I were a juror, see, the jurors did not see or hear everything that we saw and heard.
That's right.
So we should not expect them to see things from our perspective. They were only shown bits and pieces of what we saw. So they came back with reasonable doubts, of course. You see? And I just believe within myself, I know that he had something to do with it. Either I believe the son did it. But
yeah, there you go.
I mean, really, he's sitting there crying for what?
Maybe Denise did it.
Okay.
Okay, pal.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great life. Open line in Broward, 524. See, on the one hand, I'm very bitter and I'm very upset, but on the other hand, number two, I already knew it was going to happen. And number three, I've already told you the prosecution did one hell of a crappy case in presenting the evidence. There were all kinds of things that they didn't present. And, trying to put Marcia Clark and this other guy, Chris, up against this dream team, against F. Lee Bailey and Johnny Cochran and Bob Shapiro and Barry Scheck, trying to put these guys up there against them, it ain't never going to happen, man. We had the Sermon on the Mount there. All that did was put the icing on the cake. That just put the icing on the cake. He got up there, he quoted Moses, Abraham, Jesus, Joseph Smith, everybody who's ever been invented, Buddha, Confucius, and that was it, baby. And we heard a few amens and high fives in the background, and there we go. Not guilty, and see you on the golf course. I guarantee you this Sunday, man, the NFL Today on NBC. Mark my words. Huh?
Is he doing the Dolphins game?
He's going to be doing the Dolphins. In fact, he might be on that goddamn Booger Belmonte show, if you don't look out. Wouldn't that be? He might be on the Bills thing. He's got that loyalty to the Bills. To hell with the Dolphins. Here's a mobile in Miami Beach. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Regarding, I think a lot of it has to do with money, number one, because money does buy you a certain amount of freedom, and for you to have that kind of a defense, there was no way that the prosecution was going to win this case, I feel, in many ways. Remember now, there was a district attorney that spoke with the prosecution maybe about 3 months ago and said, look, back away from Furman because this guy is a time bomb, and they said, we don't want to hear it. And he just basically, stuck with Furman, and Furman was a time bomb.
But you know something? I think that even without the Furman tapes, I think the verdict would have been the same. You see, because they're going through all this very complicated DNA evidence, and I'm sitting there, and I'm, not paying that much attention, but I'm picking up bits and pieces of it, and, considering myself a little bit above the average intelligence of these schmucks on the jury or out there on the streets, who the hell can understand it? Who can really understand? The one thing I do understand is you can't create a false positive on a DNA blood test. You can't do it. There's no such thing.
And not just that, but the fourth person was, I believe she was a 50-year-old black woman.
Yeah.
From where she was from. I think she was from Crenshaw, one of the real nasty black neighborhoods in California.
Yeah.
So I figure, oh my God, this is it, you know. And when they came to, I think they would have taken a lot longer to find them guilty. I think they would have gone through all the evidence one more time and would have said, okay, now we know 100% that he's guilty.
Yeah.
But just to vote him innocent, that was too quick. I knew he was going to be acquitted.
Yeah, they had their minds made up by the time, in fact, before the final closing arguments were done. Okay, his phone is crapping out. We have an open line in Dade, 751.
Oh, my God.
And let's go to Jupiter. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Got my passport.
Yeah, better squeeze it tight, man.
I'm waiting for the gunshot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You talking about Fred Goldman?
It doesn't matter.
You think it's going to be somebody else?
Hey, the man deserves it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know, I hope it's
vigilante justice.
The nice part about if Goldman did it, they'd give him 99 years and suspend the sentence.
Okay. Get out of here, man. Maniac. Open line on the green line, 1-800-944-9463, 1-800-944-WIOD, 135 at WIOD.
610 WIOD, appealing to lunatics everywhere.
Okay, 138. What is it? Where'd I get what?
That's right, the Brad Pitt photograph.
Oh, the Brad Pitt. That's from the internet. Talk to your friend Jennifer about that. She's a collector of good stuff like that. She'll get you one for your wife, and, of course, one for you, too. We know about you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, 22 till 2 at WIOD as we continue the postmortem. This will probably go on for another day, maybe two. We'll be able to milk it, and then most people will go back and life goes on, and back to the young and horny. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been dragged through, whether we liked it or not. I mean, there was no way to avoid it, even if you try to lock yourself in a broom closet. We've been dragged through 8 or 9 months now, actually like a year plus, a year and a half almost, of this OJ crap. And please don't tell me, don't insult my intelligence by saying, well, Johnny Cochran, you know, like I said, that was the frosting on a cake. They had their minds made up a long time ago, which is why it only took them 3 or 4 hours of sitting around and putting on, you know, a fake performance there. Their minds were made up long ago, man. This trial had nothing to do with evidence. It had nothing to do with anything except the ethnic composition of the jury. Plus the fact that the prosecution did a really sloppy, half-assed job. But, I mean, that was also just a little bit more help and a good excuse. But if you think you're going to come to America and get justice without seeing Don Corleone, forget it. North Miami Beach, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got to lend my voice to the sickening feeling that I'm getting after this.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. The American justice system sucks. The jury system is the biggest farce that was ever created.
Yep.
Tell me, what normal person would rather give up his job and his family and sit on a jury for 9 to 10 months?
Right.
What normal person?
Well, see, these people, I guess, all of them are going to be writing the book. I mean, some of the ones who were kicked off the jury already got their books out, and these people are going to follow in their footsteps. In fact, when a judge was saying, you know, it's up to your own, to use your own discretion as to whether you want to cooperate with the media or not, and, of course, I'm thinking, well, it all depends on how much they offer to pay, you know. That's where it's at.
Did you hear the history of the jurors from yesterday? These people are professional jurors. I mean, they've been on juries where they've demanded overturning convictions. Did you hear that?
Well, they're like the professional talk show guest, which is also a big farce. Fake.
I'm sick, and I'll tell you one thing. If, God forbid, I should ever get into one of these jams, I'm running.
Keep that passport handy at all times, man.
Exactly.
Okay.
Take care.
And get a faster driver than Al Cowlings in the Bronco. You know, if you're going to get to the airport and, you know, get a flight out of town to some place where they have no extradition, get a faster driver than Al Cowlings. Let's go to Miami Lakes. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I cannot believe this. A couple of weeks ago, you were talking about getting professional jurors.
Right.
And I was laughing. I said, nah, Neil, just going, you know.
Yeah, right.
I've
been saying that for 20 years.
You are absolutely correct, sir. This is the biggest travesty I've seen. It just tells you basically if you have the money, you know, go ahead and do what you can do, and you know, get away with murder. This is.
See, when you have professional jurors, they are trained in all the machinations of the law. They're not going to be swayed by actors, by all this song and a dance, by the Sermon on the Mount. They're not even going to put up with any of that crap. Okay, just give me the facts like Jack Webb and Dragnet, and they'll iron them out and they'll understand. And you know, I mean, even though they still are human beings, nevertheless, they're specifically trained not to be you know, gullible enough to buy into all this bull crap. We don't see the whole premise of the American criminal justice system is not to get justice; it's to get lawyers a lot of work and a lot of money. That's what it's all about.
I just can't believe those 14 or 12 of them that sat there, looking at the pain of the Goldman family and the Brown family. could just come back in 4 hours or whatever, how much time it took him to deliberate. First of all, it shows that nowadays there's no regards for life. I mean, at least a couple of days of deliberation to find out, well, let's look at this thing from...
Even to make it look good.
Exactly.
I mean, after 8 months, what difference is one more day going to make? Just to give the impression, well, we went back, and even though we didn't go over every piece of testimony, 50,000 pages, we went over all the highlights, we thrashed it out, we went over all the possibilities, we looked at Marcia's pyramid there, and we just had too many doubts in our mind, and et cetera and so on. And then some people might have been able to buy that. But the fact that they make it so blatantly obvious that they had already talked among themselves, which is in total violation of the judge's instructions, that they had already made up their minds collectively, well, what's the point? Why do we even bother going through the exercise?
The message that is being sent out there right now is that life, too young, bribing people, especially,
But how many times have you heard me say that? Human life in America is worthless. There's no premium on it. It's like stepping on a cockroach.
Yeah,
we don't care about it.
Don't do that, because you might go to Brayford for
and if this wasn't a notorious sensational crime and these people weren't, at least in her case, married to a celebrity, nobody would have even given a crap about this. Nobody would have cared.
No, realistically, there has to be an overhaul, and I know this is nothing. What we're doing now is just voicing our opinions, and nobody's going to do anything about it.
No, because nobody cares.
Exactly.
If they did care, they wouldn't allow it to go on like it is now, but the majority of the people are dumbasses.
Yeah, realistically, the best thing to do is just hang on to the passport and go someplace where at least...
Well, obviously overwrought with emotion, not viewing this with any kind of common sense whatsoever, just looking at it again as a racial thing. And I'm sure that all of these black people have got 4 or 5 million, so if they're ever accused of murdering anybody, they can get the dream team for themselves, right? Or maybe OJ will pay for the dream team to defend them next time if they're the next ones up. Right. It's pathetic. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Could you lend me about $5 million?
No problem.
I killed 2 people. I don't feel like going.
Well, I mean, even if you didn't kill them yet, if you ever decide to do it, it's always good to have 4 or 5 million hanging around a special account, just in case.
I can keep the Dream Team on retainer just in case I do go out and kill 2 people.
Right.
And need to get off. I wonder if there's any job openings over in the LAPD and the DA's office, the forensic department.
Yeah.
Nope.
Wouldn't surprise me. Call Dennis Fung's extension. Let's go to Boca. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
The quote of the century from the trial of the century. If I go down, the whole trial goes down.
Yeah.
Mark Furman. We just weren't listening.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay. He believes that. I'm going to still say, with or without Mark Furman, it's not guilty. I believe that. I mean, we got no way of knowing that until, of course, the books come out. What'll that be, next week? Yeah, that's another interesting thing. Doubleday and all these other publishers, Bantam Books. You notice how during the course of these last 8 or 9 months, there were books coming out like almost overnight. The Cato book and then OJ. What I want to tell you, baby, is I didn't do it and I was going to get off, etc. And everybody, and then the jurors that got kicked off the jury. There was a paperback book that came out you went to bed one night and they weren't even writing it yet. You got up the next morning, it was written, published, and at your local bookstore. What is that all about? Here's a lady in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi there, Neil. How are you doing today?
Okay, I'll survive.
Well, what I can't figure out is why they chased him all around L.A., and, he was guilty of sin.
Yeah.
But I always thought, deep down, I always knew he was guilty, but it was like there was somebody else there. Did you see his son break down today in that courtroom?
Yes, I did.
Well, who do you think he'd cover for if it wasn't his own child?
Yeah.
Right?
So, in other words, you think the son did it?
I think that maybe
based on what? I mean,
I've
heard other people say that. But you don't need to look for you don't need to look for that, because all you got to look at is the man himself. No alibi. He lied through his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
He came running in the house at the last second.
Well, money talks and BS walks, right?
That's what you find out.
Just like Benny Blades, right?
Well, there you go. maybe he can go cover the Seattle game up there. Maybe he and Benny...
there you go. It'd be the perfect match,
Maybe they can compare notes. Okay, have a great life. Hang on tight. Squeeze it tight. I think we need our pocket rocket, okay? When's Aaron coming on? Here's let's see, didn't we just do that? Here's Miami on the purple line. Hello? Miami?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is Lauderdale Mobile.
Well, that's close enough.
I just want to
rally, all the white people, and let's go riot, baby.
Yeah, okay. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hi, this is actually not Hialeah. I do think it's funny, though, that Manson basically got convicted even though he really didn't kill anybody, and he was a white guy.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that's just an interesting case to throw into the machinery here.
But I think at the time, he was always unshaven. He had kind of that dark look about him. That might have been
the phenotype thing he didn't have going for him, and the fact that Sharon Tate was pregnant probably didn't add to help things out either.
Right.
So, but Neil, as always, you're God, and you were right.
And don't forget, they stuck all those bodies under John Wayne Gacy's house. Keep that in mind, okay?
Oh, I'm from Chicago.
Next time some fag's accused of some crime like that, it's a setup.
Right.
Okay. See you, pal. Good luck to us. Everything's a setup. Nobody takes, he did it. He did it, and he was pissed off, and he got his many ounces of flesh, and he should have said, okay, I was pissed off, I was emotionally distraught, I lost my mind, I was on drugs, But instead, they try to paint him as a wronged man because he happens to be black. Even though he's a multimillionaire, even though almost everybody in America loved him and admired him, and he was like a folk hero, and etc. Forget about that, okay? He's another victim of the system. Right. No, we're the victims of the system. For justice, Don Corleone. Trust me when I tell you. Here's and by the way, how's my parking spot coming at the arena? Speaking of Don Corleone, never heard any more about that, huh? People thought I was getting carried away with that. Let me tell you, I'm serious about that, mister. I'll tell you that right now. You know that old saying, you mess with the falcon and you get the claw. Well, you don't say mess. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey there.
Yes, sir.
I was on a federal case a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And they pay a whole lot, $40 a day, which is a lot more than these people are getting.
Really?
Yeah, and believe me, there was nobody there who was happy to be in that damn jury. Any event,
yeah.
If O.J. is innocent, then Ruby was framed.
Okay. Huh? Okay, I think he called before today. The guy needs mental help. Let's go to North Miami. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Neil.
I think he meant Oswald. Yes.
Neil, you don't believe in black power, man?
In black power?
Yeah.
Which means what?
O.J. is free.
So what does that got to do with black power?
That's black power, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's free, man.
So what does that prove?
I believe that cop did it. That white guy.
Oh, yeah, Furman, not only did he plant the evidence, he also killed him? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the good news. Thanks for your sharing your brilliant mentality. Thanks for showing the world what a rocket scientist you are, okay, pal? What are you laughing about there? They just added 400 teams to the NBA. This guy's got a chance. Here's Coconut Grove. Hello.
Once again, the American justice system blows a chance to redeem itself in front of the cameras.
I think after the word blows, you could have just stopped.
The only good thing out of this is that Marsha Clark will probably never work again.
Good.
And
good. She needs to see a hairdresser anyway, man. She could 9 months she could never get it right. She couldn't straighten that thing out.
She needed to make news somehow.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm waiting for now is Fred Goldman to take O.J. out.
What time is it now?
1:58.
Okay, pal.
All right.
Hang on.
Later.
Yeah, they're showing a freeway thing here on CNN, man. Like, there's that white van. Isn't this something you talk about melodramatic? Trying to reenact the thing with the Bronco chase, and now they're doing it in reverse, and they're showing the van. He's going back to Brentwood. Oh, they just cut away from that because I opened up my big mouth, and now we got a defense news conference, okay? Is that on? Uh-oh. Defense news conference.
Station's anchored coverage of a news conference by the defense comes your way.
See, I'm even ahead of him. I'm ahead of AP Audio, baby. I'm on top of it, man. I am right on top of it and writhing around on it.
Beginning exactly.
Yeah.
60 seconds.
From Wolf.
From
Wolf.
Mark.
Yeah.
AP Hotline.
Okay, Mark. You dummy up. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is Pete. My comment's going to take more than 60 seconds, but this is first time calling. There's 3 days I'm going to remember in my life.
Yep.
And I'm 45 years old. That's the day Kennedy was shot. I know where I was. And the day the space shuttle blew up, I know where I was. And the day the O.J. verdict come in, I know where I was. All right, now we got smart killers, all right, that happen to be rich. They usually get off, right? Where are the Columbos? We should have Columbos. It's in the TV. We should have Columbos. We should have one. Every city should have Columbos for these smart killers, these rich killers. Where are they? Where's the smart people in the justice thing? Here's my opinion. I believe he did it. I believe his hands are dirty. I believe he had help. All right, but I also believe that the prosecutors knew they didn't have a strong enough case.
And they blew it. Well, I'll tell you, just like Columbo, we'll keep our eye on them, okay, pal? That's what we're going to do from here on in. So are they going to do this thing or what?
This is a live special report from AP Network News. The Simpson verdict. Good day to you. I'm Mark Smith.
Now, how
the
long
jury
are we gonna carry
pronounced the same 2 words for both counts.
3 minutes, I
not
guess.
guilty. And O.J. Simpson is to be a free man for the first time in 14 months. The verdicts read in Judge Lance Ito's courtroom within the last hour. The suspense-filled climax to a trial that obsessed the nation for a year. That courtroom, Department 103 of the Superior Court, has been cleared now, so the defense team and the Simpson family can hold a news conference. The prosecution and defense tables put together now, and Johnny Cochran is at the microphone, seated at the table.
First, I want to thank God for this verdict. He always directs our paths, and he's worthy to be praised. And at the outset, Jason Simpson, the eldest male child of O.J. Simpson, will read a statement from Mr. Simpson and from the family.
I want to echo that.
I killed Nicole.
My family. I want to thank God, without whom I don't know where we'd be. He's truly
amazing.
A statement from my father. A statement from my father. I'm relieved that this part of the incredible nightmare that occurred on June 12, 1994 is over. My first obligation is to my young children, who will be raised the way that Nicole and I had always planned. My second obligation is to my family and to those friends who never wavered in their support. But when things have settled a bit, I will pursue, as my primary goal in life, the killer or killers who slaughtered Nicole and Mr. Goldman. They are out there somewhere. Whatever it takes to identify them and bring them in, I'll provide somehow. I can only hope that someday, despite every prejudicial thing that has been said about me publicly, both in and out of the courtroom, people will come to understand and believe that I would not, could not, and did not kill anyone. My father will have more to say at a later time.
Thank you, Jason, and from the family. We will take questions. I'll just make a brief statement, then we'll take questions thereafter. On behalf of the entire team, I just like to say how grateful we are for this verdict, because we think this verdict bespeaks justice. We never wavered in our faith. We were always optimistic, and that optimism proved right. I'd like to just individually thank all of the team members. Everybody on this team played a great, great part in this victory. There's no question about it. We hung together in the tough times. We always saw this day coming, and now that it's here, we feel really good about it. I pay particular tribute today to Joel and Demetrius, the lady over my right shoulder, who helped us pick this jury. We lost 10 jurors, but yet we still had 12 who we felt did the right thing. The other 2 people who aren't present that I'd like to thank are Barry Scheck and Peter Neufeld, who couldn't make it back from New York, but they're in Neufeld's living room today watching this, and we send our love and regards to them. Mr. Simpson, needless to say, is ecstatic, wants to get on with his life, and we are all ecstatic, so we'll take your questions.
Johnny, a lot of people are already saying that this was a case in which race transcended the facts, overcame the facts. Could you comment on that?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that question, Linda. If you watch this trial,
Linda Deutsch
if you watch the arguments, then you know this idea of any jury nullification or the idea we didn't have the facts is preposterous. In the opening part of my argument, through a strategy we devised with Lee Bailey, we said that if we could shatter the prosecution's timeline so that O.J. Simpson couldn't have committed this crime, that there would be a reasonable doubt. That's even before we ever got to the socks, the glove, and Furman or anything else. So these pundits who make those statements don't know what they're talking about. They haven't tried cases. They don't know what they're talking about. This was a case based upon the evidence. And so that's all we were saying. There was a reasonable doubt. And when you see a trial that lasts 9 months, where the jury takes this period of time, they have gone to what we said, that if you look at that timeline, O.J. Simpson could not, did not, would not have committed this crime. And I think that becomes very clear. So I think that's a very appropriate question.
Johnny,
Was there a point during the summation, during your closing argument, that you were looking in the eyes of the jury and you knew something, who was telling you something, that you were winning?
Well, it's always hard to say, Joe, but I mean, I felt that they were very attentive. For a tired jury, they were very attentive. And then one of the jurors got up and went out, and when she came back, she'd been crying. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And then they all started, a lot of them took notes who hadn't been taking notes before.
Well, we're a lot of us crying right now. WIOD Miami, it's 2:02.
You're listening, and we're getting paid. 610 WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
O.J. walks. Good afternoon at 2:02. This is Jennifer Rem. News, talk, and entertainment radio 610 WIOD. Brought to you by McDonald's. For a moment in time, virtually everything stopped as the verdict in the trial of the century was read.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
O.J. Simpson acquitted in the double murder of ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. Miami criminal defense attorney Jeffrey Weiner.
He's a free man. He walks out. There'll be an issue regarding his children, but he'll get the children back. He's been found not guilty.
Not guilty. The verdict incensed radio host at L.A.'s KFI, WIOD's sister station.
This is horrible. This is disgusting. God, the whole world's got to be laughing at us.
Well, somebody killed those two people. Who was it then?
Yeah, so I guess we should start the investigation to find the real murderer, huh?
Yeah, that's what's next.
So who is the murderer?
Show us the evidence in the trail to the real murderers, please.
WIOD's Brooke Alphin is live at the Broward Courthouse with South Florida Reaction. Brooke?
For about 75 people crowded into a lobby across from the Broward Courthouse. Many people cheered loudly when the verdicts were read. Others just shook their heads in amazement. Now, about half of the people here were African American. Most of them felt O.J. was not guilty, or at least that the prosecution did not prove its case. Some others in the group also expected not guilty, but more whites here said they think O.J. is guilty. There was a bit of tension. Here is one exchange between a black woman and a white man with opposite views on O.J.
And I just thank God that there's a God that knows whether he was innocent. There's a God that knows whether he was guilty. And I thank God. I thank God.
Right. I'm glad that there is a God, because that's who's going to have to deal with him.
And regardless of their views, many of the trial watchers here say the case proves that money means a lot when it comes to the criminal justice system.
Thanks, Brooke. And now, as you might imagine, all the crackpots are crawling out of the woodwork, saying they knew the juice was innocent all along. Terry Brill is an intuitive astrologist out of Elk Grove, California. She called the WIOD newsroom just moments ago.
He's a Cancer. He's very sensitive. He is very controlling, but I still don't feel that he did it.
For sure. 2:04 at News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio 610 WIOD. Time saver traffic and a Weather Channel forecast coming up.